wicked, wicked. Jungle is massive. Wicked, wicked. Wicked, wicked. Jungle is massive. Wicked, yo, 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 yo. We got this skill.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Claret and Booze. You're joined by Nick and Luc Bailey, who is stepping in for two men today. John, who is sunning himself in Crete for the next few weeks, so you won't be seeing his ugly mush for a few weeks. And Gary is unavailable tonight. So it's me and Luc, which is bad news because that means I've got to try and manage the chat and do everything else. So I'll do my best. But at least we've got a positive result to review. I was over there today. And it was a really good day, all in all. We'll get into the football in a minute. But how's your day been, mate? You feeling quite chipper after that win?
I don't know how to feel, to be fair, because I think I've realised that for the most part that I really do care about the style of play. And
yeah, I do, mate. I do.
We've come out of that with a win, and I think I didn't even celebrate the goals afterwards because I was so drained. I know this sounds pathetic. But I was so drained by the goals that the way we played. The goal, I was in shock that we scored 2 goals like we did. We got the win, so I have to shut up, give myself a slap, and say be happy. And
no, you don't have to, mate. You don't have to give yourself a slap. Look, but you have to be happy with a win over Chelsea at home. I think going into this, I've watched a few reviews, and somebody mentioned the stat that we've only lost 1 of our last 6 against Chelsea. So we're a bit of a bogey team at our place for them. And look, my record going against Chelsea is pretty good. I said this on the show the other day. I was not expecting a win at all. I softened. I always get stupidly optimistic just before kickoff. So I did a little review and I said, yeah, my heart says 2-1. I fancied it, but I couldn't let myself go for it. So I went, no, my head says 4-0. Caveated both, covered all the bases. But obviously 4 nails was dropped, which I thought was harsh. But obviously you can't complain because James Ward-Prowse got 2 assists, came in, did really well. He did really, really well. But I wasn't surprised with the lineup. Obviously we got off to a flyer. We scored after 7 minutes with the second James Ward-Prowse corner, which caused problems. This time it found its way onto Alvarez's head, straight in the back of the onion sack. And from that point on, it felt a little bit to me when that went in. I celebrated, and then you sit down, you think, "Fuck, we're 1-0 up after 7 minutes," and so it played out. So I was saying this earlier on. So anyone who saw my little vlog thing that I did before the game, listen, I'm really positive about it. I am, but it is different. If I'd have watched this game on TV, I probably wouldn't be as happy as I am at the moment because the football wasn't great. It was effective today. It was really, really effective. But I do think that an Areola save was probably the difference with that. We really did. We were pretty shit after that goal in the first half. I think we was kind of really, we was riding our luck at times. Is that fair to say, Luke? You watched it on telly. Did it look the same as that to you?
Yeah, the impression you get from going to games and watching on TV are completely different things at times.
Or beer helps. When you're at the game, you have a beer.
Yeah, overpriced, diluted beer.
Yeah.
It's funny because obviously the Bournemouth game last week I was blown away by how good the performance was, in my opinion, because I've been so used to just being so poor over the last 18 months or so.
He's blown away by a performance against Bournemouth.
Yes, because the context.
They're shit.
Let me finish. Let me paint the picture for you. All right.
Yeah.
So obviously we went 1 up last week. We got half an hour to go, and I, like you, the corners I was expecting to score from because I thought, no, he's been brought in for this very reason. We come close to the first corner and scored for the second. And then that little voice back here goes, what's coming on now, didn't you? Now what's coming. Yeah. And it was a wave after wave after wave, and I expected the worst and got the worst.
My dog's fucking going mad. Sorry, mate.
Right. And I think there was a part of me that thought, okay, we're 1-0. It's 1-0 now, right? Surely would go for it again to an extent to try and get the goal back. But I don't know. I think I'm realising now that the football does drain me, and watching it on TV was like, you know, I feel like the players are. I understand if the players weren't that good, but for me, I think the players are better than the football we're playing, and just watching it on TV, the fact that we just, you know, we weren't looking to it at all. It was all Chelsea. They were playing.
That's largely my experience, though, mate. So when people, because this is a difference when you see. So we talk to Doddsy a lot. Doddsy goes to every game home and away, and it's like a big day out for him, and it's great because he spends all day drinking with his mates, and the football is just a small part of it. So he never gets as angry as somebody who, you know, who just basically we're only invested in the football in the 90 minutes. And when you sit down and you have to watch that, it's fucking hard. It's hard graft. Now, look, don't get me wrong. When you get a 3-1 win at home to Chelsea, you can't knock it. And what I will say, listen, I can swallow that style of football if that was a tactic that was selected for Chelsea, for Man City, for teams like this. I could swallow it because I can understand it because they've got a wealth of talent. They've got pace all over the team. If we did try to press them all over the pitch, they would cut through our press like a knife through butter. They probably would. So I can understand us sitting off of them, making ourselves hard to play through, and then trying to hit them on the counter attack. And what we did do, which we probably all have to accept, when you look at the possession stats, which are horrific, by the way, when we had the ball, we was effective with it. So that's a good thing. So and Chelsea half the time, we're sort of sitting there half the time, me and my son. And we're like, they're going fucking nowhere. Like, because we're sat back, they didn't have the craft to unlock us half the time. It was kind of trying.
Sterling was the only outlet for me, especially in the first half.
Back and forth, and it was quite boring, and it was quite boring to watch. We was relatively comfortable for large portions, but they did threaten us, you know. And I do think that sort of sitting back the way that we did, I think the penalty before half time kind of woke Moyes up because we came out in the second half different. I thought we were different. We seem to have moved a bit further up the pitch. We created a little bit. I mean, that fucking chance that Benrahma missed when he went through and he moved it onto his weak foot. It was on his right foot and he moved it onto his left. What the fuck? What did he do that for? But no, yeah, I think on the whole, look, everyone who's watching this stream, we don't need to go through it blow by blow because everyone will have seen it. But yeah, I think he got his game management. I think in the second half, I think the game management was good. I think his subs were good for a change. I think he made the right substitutes. He reacted quite well to when Aguero, who up to that point was kind of edging towards a man in a match performance, he was fucking outstanding. And then he goes and does that stupid challenge that
he's a 50-50 player, isn't he? 1 minute he's world class, next minute he makes stupid decisions. It
was a ridiculous challenge. He was never going to get anywhere near.
Even Antonio, he was arguing with the ref, and Antonio came up behind him.
Mate, he was different class today. I mean, some of the stuff he was doing was unbelievable. I think he's custom made to when we're playing against fast players, not really fast players. That seems to sort of wake him up, and he's on his game, and he can kind of match players like that. He's some of his tackling was outstanding. But no, I thought he managed it well. I thought Moyes managed it really, really well. And Antonio's goal, I know we're bouncing about a bit here, but obviously James Ward-Prowse's second assist, which was that little chip over the top to Antonio, but Antonio did the rest. And I think Antonio had a brilliant afternoon, mate. Yeah, he was bullying that big geezer at the back. You know, he was outstanding. And what a finish! What a finish as well. Brilliant he was really up for it. But yeah, I don't know, mate. It's kind of fantastic. It's really, really good. Like I said, I can accept that tactic if it was reserved for games like this, but it can't be the stock tactic for every game because it doesn't need to be. We've proved it's like against Bournemouth, mate. Player for player, we're a better team. Not at any stage do we need to shut up shop against Bournemouth.
No, not especially the way we did it as early as we did it.
No.
There's a precursor. If people think we parked the bus today, you ain't see nothing. Brighton will be the parking of several buses during that game. That is going to, you talk about a bogey team for us since they got back in the Premier League, and it's going to be worse than that. But this is. I must admit, I think I might put a few polls out in the week because I know we won the game, I know we won the game, and the result was great. And the last 10 minutes or so were, when Paqueta was doing his thing in the corners, winning fouls and stuff like that. That's all what you want to see. But the overall game, I'm interested to see how people actually felt about it, because I know a lot of people were against Allardyce with his football, with his long ball, hoof ball, and for me, this is worse.
I agree with you. You know how I feel about it. But the fact of the matter is, I think you will get away with it. You will ignore the possession stats. You will look over that while you're winning and you're beating teams like Chelsea at home. You can't not look past it because it worked today. This is the trouble, but it won't work every week. And when you don't get that result, it's soul sucking, because the football itself is really hard. I mean, it was a lot of drama in today's game. I will say that it weren't boring. It wasn't boring. They had most of the game. I think we showed a lot of grit and determination. Some of the tackling was brilliant. And Alvarez, he's definitely a red card waiting to happen. I love him. He snaps into tackles, doesn't he? Do you see him when he came on? I really like the look of him.
I didn't really see him make a challenge. I think I saw him once when he was. This is on TV. You don't see.
Yeah.
If you're on TV, you can only follow where the camera goes, but you don't spot everything. And obviously, on the stadium, you can be quite far away anyway. But I saw him once, I think, when the ball was going towards almost for a corner, and it came off him, and that was like one of his first time. And the other time was when I think he was jockeying Sterling, and he was right with him. His body shape was going right, try and get past me. But he does. He seems like a bit of a live wire. But it's his first game. He's going to be full of adrenaline. He's going to want to prove a point and make a good impression on the fans and the players. So that wouldn't surprise me at all. It's when it's 10 games in and he still hasn't calmed down. He's getting stupid yellow cards here and there. It's too red. That's going to worry me.
I thought what was really impressive though, mate, because when you consider the intensity of that game, not from us, but what we was having to cope with coming at us, it was wave after wave of attack. I mean, it's at one point in the second half, I don't know if you remember it, their goalkeeper was sitting on the fucking halfway line. It was like 20 minutes before the end. Their goalkeeper was that far up at one point. He was kind of standing there as a sweeper keeper, if you like. And for the players that came on, Fornals in particular, because Fornals got us on the front foot again. He was amazing when he came on.
Great impact sub.
The way they got into the speed of the game, quick, bang, straight away, and Alvarez, the players that came on were very, very good. And I do think on this occasion, something which I always slam Moyes for, because he's shit at it, which is managing games. Today, I think he did it. I don't think I would have done any different to what he did today in the second half, in the situation that we was in. And sort of moving on from that, mate. So obviously it's 2-1. We're under pressure. Lucas Paqueta is doing some masterful shithousery over in the corner. He's loving it. He's because I knew this was going to happen between him and Cascedo. I almost feel like Cascedo was sent on to rile Paqueta up, because he was getting niggly with Paqueta. Straight as soon as he came on, he was shoving him, kicking him.
The moment between the two of them, I think it was he won already, and there's another one where I think he come off Cascedo, went for a throw in, and he looked at Cascedo. Cascedo looked at him, went, "All right, yeah. I see. You got me there. Fair play." And it was like, then after that, I think it was when we got the penalty. But
Paqueta proper mugged him off, mate. He mugged him off.
Now, where obviously after this week, I'm looking at everything that Paqueta does. I'm going, "Do you have a bit on it? Do you have a bit on that one?"
Well, I did. I lumped on a yellow card. No, I didn't really.
Yes, lots of players. But there was a moment where he gets the first, I think, corner or free kick after him. And then he goes, he celebrates almost a goal. He punches the air that he's won the free kick. And Jamie Carragher over at the commentary went celebrating getting a free kick, and it was a pause as if like, I can't say what I want to say, but I don't agree with it, sort of thing. Yeah, and it was like, I wanted Paqueta at how many fouls in the game. I've just got the I'm not in his WhatsApp group. That's all, because I'd be lumping on as well. But it's detrimental to us, then, yeah.
Yeah, it's not dead, mate. I don't even think he's done it. It's bullshit. It's
I don't think
I don't think there's anything in it. And like I said, I spoke to someone on Friday who knows someone at the FA. And they didn't name names, but what they said is that they're unofficially, there are 90 plus players in the top 3 leagues that are currently being investigated for betting, for the similar sort of betting allegations, same sort of things.
Right.
The last one to actually get the book thrown at him was Ivan Toney, and that was because it was made from his account because the only way that he can be proved guilty is if somebody has grasped him, if somebody sent a screenshot. Otherwise, he's just got to adopt even if he is guilty, just do the shaggy card. It wasn't me.
To me,
no?
if my memory serves right,
Wasn't me.
They only get investigated because there is spotlight. So when Ivan Toney got investigated, it was because there was controversy over him. Would he get picked for England for the World Cup?
Yeah.
And then now Paqueta's got the potential move to Man City. Suddenly they're investigating him, and so it seems to me as soon as they're in the spotlight, that's when they get talked about. That's when they get investigated after that. I'm not. Look, I don't like it. I think it's players back in the day in the 80s and now I can understand because they were on peanuts compared to what they are now. But I don't really understand it, given the fact that they're on the money they're on. I don't really understand it unless their family are really poor back home or something like that, and they're trying to help them out in any way they can. I don't really get it. But then I'm not in their money, I'm not in their life, so I can't really judge. But it doesn't make sense to me personally.
No. Well, I'm going to run through a couple of little comments up here. Listen, how we normally do this show, because there's normally 2 or 3 of us that administer the show, everyone. So, and Luke hasn't got access to the controls. So normally one of us is hosting, the other one's flicking the comments up, and we do it that way. So I've got to try and do it myself as well. So I'm gonna cherry pick some comments as we go, or try to. But so we got Richard Stevens here. He says the subs were terrific today. We were completely outpaced up and down the field, almost a mirror image of the past few seasons. Very poor first half, and then we came alive in the second half. Look, it just worked today. I think it was kind of one of those games, especially when you saw we got the rubber to green a few times. The Areola save was fan-fucking-tastic. It was brilliant. The penalty save was brilliant.
Come off Soucek, was it near the end of the game?
Yes, yeah. But he got man of the match today, Areola, in the stadium as well. He did, yeah. He made some great saves, not just the penalty.
He did, but you don't normally see it given to goalkeepers. They normally give it to like Paqueta or Antonio or something because they got the goal or something.
He was under the cosh, wasn't he?
He did very well. He's a good keeper, rating.
But yeah, so what we got here? So we got Paul Riley says, I gave my Chelsea mate some awful stick today. Yeah, mate, keep it up. They hate it. They all, as soon as the penalty got awarded, they tipped out. That was it. They didn't even stay and watch Paqueta score. Miserable gits. So we got Desert Cyclist. We were not great today, but somehow we won. Not sure if that was down to tactics or the players' bloody mindedness. Either way, we got 3 valuable points and a needed boost in confidence. Yeah, look, this is what I was saying. We weren't great today. On another day, that penalty goes in, and then it's a different game. Then, because then what we've got to do is we've got to come out and we've got to chase the game, and we've got to really go at Chelsea. Then they're going to open us up like a can of beans. If we go behind at any point against a team like that, then we're done. We're toast. But things went for us in the right way. But you can't say it was luck. It's an element of luck, but we made the most of it, and it was down to pure commitment from the players, like unadulterated commitment. Don't get me wrong. There's comments in there about Emerson got roasted by Sterling. He will. Sterling's just fucking miles faster than him. Yeah. I thought Soufal had a better second half, but the guy gives me heartburn at right back. He does, mate. Do you know what it is? It's when he's got time on the ball. Quite a few times, it's like he gets stuck. And he just, it was actually start of the second half. He's just standing with the ball, looking for passing options. Mudryk comes up behind him, nicks a ball. Oh, no, he's gone. Yeah, he nicks a ball. Right, here's another one. Basically, Luke's going to keep dipping off everyone because he's got a baby to look after. Got his priorities all wrong. Sickens me. Right. West Ham United, Mac, 41, must have looked at Edson Alvarez and thought, shit, I might not be missed. He ain't going to be missed, mate. I don't think he is. I mean, I think that's the one thing that we saw against Bournemouth. That was the one positive performance, was that midfield three. I thought that looked good. So we've got a selection headache now. We haven't got a far and away, Paqueta is a world-class talent, but we've literally got pieces we can move around now. It ain't like if Declan Rice ain't there, we've got to shit ourselves. Now we've got what's he doing? Is someone tickling him? Bowen had to defend. Chelsea were coming at us down his side. Yeah. But look, we was deep. We really were, especially towards the end. Daniel Jones. I can't bring myself to watch the Moyes press conference. I ain't even listened to it. I ain't looking forward to the player ratings, to be quite honest. But there is something that I'm going to give him credit for, and it isn't for masterful fucking defensive tactics, parking the bus, because that isn't genius what he did there, by the way. It worked today. But anyone that calls it genius, it is not genius. Sitting 10 men behind the ball, hitting the team on a counter-attack, you know, great. I really respect the players for responding to it today and really getting stuck in there. Antonio really made that work up front. He was brilliant. But no, it's not a masterclass. It worked today. And I think it will work. It should work against a lot of these bigger teams that pour at you. That's where counter-attacking teams should thrive, I think. Garino says, Alvarez posted a tweet about the Wednesday and Kudus commented on it. Did you see our new defender? You probably have all seen it. It was tweeted earlier on. The what's his name? Konstantinos Mavropanos. I think I got that right. I even got it written down in front of me. He was in the box with Tim Steiten watching the game. Good timing as well, because I don't know how long is he going to get, Aguirre, for the dickhead challenge that he made. 2 games? Is it a 2-game ban? Cape Figor, I think people are being a bit harsh on Benny. Yes, his finishing was poor, but he still works his socks off. Oh, mate, 100%. Look, Benny was good today. He was good. He always tries. His application isn't a problem. He always chose for the ball. But, mate, that was... We're playing Chelsea. That was a golden opportunity, you know, to kind of... to put us in front. It was before the Antonio goal, wasn't it? And you're like, fuck. Just put it away. Or was it after? That would have made it 3-1. Whatever. We should have been 3-1 up. No, it was before. Sorry. I'm getting jumbled up. But no, that was it. And I don't know why he did that. He was on his strong foot and he went outside to the left. Don't know. I don't get him sometimes. I think if he has too much time, he overthinks things and he fucks up. Paul Chambers, same here in Christ and Nick. Me and my youngest outnumbered 5-1, but we, yeah. Right, where are we? Leon, I'm going to go into the player ratings now. Aguirre would have been man of the match except for the cards. Good Areola got it. Rewarded for his patience. He's shown waiting to... Yeah, look. And if the rumours are said to be true, that apparently Moyes has said to him, one mistake and you're out. I don't know whether to believe that or not, but apparently that's what's happened. Fortunes, Nick, your thoughts on big club Liverpool having a man sent off against little club Bournemouth at the Anfield yesterday? Yes. I didn't watch the game. Can't comment. There is corruption now. There definitely is corruption. I mean, you've only got to look at the. I mean, I don't care what anyone says. Luke, someone's mentioned stuff about corruption in the Premier League. Is there any other excuse for that? For instance, a Wolves Man United one where the keeper wipes out those defenders and then the penalty doesn't get given. Explain that away. Is that an innocent mistake when you've got not only a referee who's right in front of it, you've also got people in VAR looking at video replays. Not one person says that's a penalty.
This is absolute corruption. There is corruption.
It's blatant corruption.
There's just on that point. I think we are the only. We were when it first started. We were the only country, only league that implemented VAR the way we do implement it. Because all the other leagues were going off if the referee feels it's anything, he can go over to the monitor and have a look. He's not getting told in his earpiece to go and do it. So, yeah. So that kind of says it all. We're arrogant. We'll do it our own way. Also, we'll keep the old top boys safe as well because they're the money makers. So,
yeah, I know. No, I completely agree. They drive me fucking mad. Oh, hang on. There we go. Right, we're going to start with you. Is a nice, easy one for you, Luke. I don't think we'll be needing any donkeys today, but you never know. So Areola, go on. Tell me about Areola.
I'd say a 9.
He was brilliant today.
He conceded the goal.
It was a match winner.
He conceded the goal, which is obviously, it's unfortunate. But he gave away a ball in the second half, and he tried to pass it to Safal when it went wayward. But he saved the penalty. He looked very comfortable with everything else that he saved, and then he made that really. I don't think people realise how hard that was to save because he's taking a deflection off Soucek as well.
He was brilliant.
9 for me.
You're giving him a 9. Okay, finish whizzing through these. Sorry, this might take a little bit longer. Terrible distribution. Yeah, I must admit, I noticed that today, which is weird because that's normally what we rave about with him.
He was doing a Fabianski as well when he's holding onto the ball rather.
Yeah, his distribution was a bit weird. But then again, mate, I think that could very well be under instruction from David Moyes because David Moyes likes to have the game slowed down. Yeah. Areola's instinct is to go get the ball forward, get the ball forward. But if that's what he's instructed to not do, You know, what's the point in getting out there? They're just going to be coming straight back at us again. Fucking hold on to it. It could be that. You know, we don't know. We don't know. Right, I shall take. I'll take Soufal. I'm going to give him. I'm not going to bash him. I'm going to give him a flat 6 for me. I thought he was average at best. I think he coped relatively well at times defensively, but he does. I just don't enjoy watching him at fullback. I'm glad when we're playing with him in the team that we play deep, because the guy just gets absolutely roasted. But having said that, you know, his compatriot on the other, not his compatriot, his fullback partner on the other side also struggled as well. So yeah, I think it's 6 for me. What did you think of Soufal today, mate?
I think you're about right. I don't think he was terrible. I don't think it was his best game either. He done what he could with, you know, the 2 quick wingers and stuff like that. But
yeah,
he did a couple of good things in the first half. But I think we made a few good tackles and stuff. But
Matt's bang on. By the way, Bowen. The reason he got better in the second half was because Bowen was sitting on his lap, or he was sitting on Bowen's lap. One of the two.
Poor old Bowen.
Yeah, I know. Right, can I give you the other one? I didn't think he had the best game either. I do think not his fault. I just think Sterling's a very good, very fast player, and Sterling fancied these chances against him. He kept on fucking just running at him all the time, and that's Emerson.
Yeah, he's
won us a penalty though at the end.
I think, yeah, I think he was much better in attack today than he was in defence. Put it that way, he was an outlet going forward. I think there's a few times in the second half where he kept doing his run, and then something was stopped, and he had to keep coming back again because we weren't getting the ball fast enough, quick enough to keep up with his runs.
Yeah,
but he was pretty much on toast for Sterling, and it was kind of like a. But again, it was like, because it was a flat back 4, he didn't have the. It was like a win back system where he could be allowed to kind of, you know, worry about attacking as much as he did defending. He was caught sort of almost out on his neck in a left wing and left back area, and he didn't. Like I said, this bit like Soufal, he didn't have his best game, but he wasn't the worst either. But he did get completely, you know, killed by Sterling. But I thought he
literally got rinsed.
He was a great outlet going forward in the second half. So you know, I think he'd probably get a 7. I think he done more than Soufal did, and he won us the penalty as well, didn't he? So
yeah,
it's a higher mark than that.
That's fine. I think the penalty win, I can accept that, marking him up. Other than that, it was an average performance. Don't get me wrong. I think if we'd have lost and half the time he was being rinsed by Sterling led to a goal, he'd have been getting a free, I think. But it didn't, so it don't matter.
Sterling's a funny. It's just on that. Sterling's a funny old player. I think he's Benrahma, isn't he? Does all the hard work and never seems to be able to find the right ball or, you know, score enough goals. And his final ball is lacking a lot. I think that we got away with that today because he had run us ragged, but there was no you know, final ball decent.
No, he's a little bit like that, and isn't he, Sterling? Yeah. There's not a lot of end product there.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah. So Naif Aguero, I'll take him. Aguero, I thought he was on his way to a man of the match performance. I've got to be honest; it's probably the best performance that I've seen from him. I've seen some good ones. He had a really good one against Liverpool as well. You know, when he basically just kept Salah quiet. That was a wonderful game. But today, some of his tackling was just fucking brilliant. And he scored the goal. So I would have given him a 9, but I'm going to have to mark him down, but not by much. I'm going to give him an 8. I'm going to give him an 8. I actually am. I thought he was fucking brilliant. It was a 9 performance, but that we're going to lose him for 2 games now. So but I'm not going to mark him down too much. So
2 games. I didn't know.
Yeah. It is 2 games for a red, isn't it? I think
it is, because I think it's only 1 game ban for the consecutive yellows, isn't it?
Right, okay.
Whatever it is. So.
Right, and you can take our new captain by the looks of it, Kurt Zouma.
I didn't really see much of him, to be fair, in a way of defending. He cleared a few balls out, but I think he was a good captain today. I think when there was a lot of commotion going over, he was bringing players out of from arguing with Chelsea players and was trying to keep them cool and take them out. It didn't. I thought he had an average game. Didn't think he did anything wrong. Didn't do anything outstanding either. So he had a quiet game by his accounts, because you can always know when Zouma's playing. He tends to clear a lot of balls out, head a lot of balls away.
Yeah.
But he didn't really have to do that today. I don't know if it's because Chelsea didn't play many head balls. They were playing football on the floor.
I think they were both solid. I think if our centre backs hadn't been solid today, we'd have got fucked quite badly. They were, and I thought he was tremendous against Bournemouth as well, and I think he continued that today. He does look clumsy on the ball. As BAJ says, I wouldn't give him a 6, by the way. He is clumsy on the floor. He's not. He's like an old-fashioned style defender. That's not his game. It makes me nervous, man. When you can't play out. That's why Chelsea got rid of him, I think, because he's not a ball-playing defender, and they wanted to play a different way at the time because he's a brilliant defender, but he isn't that type of defender. You know, he's one of the best. If you're talking about conventional defending, I don't think there's many better than him. He's brilliant at it, but that's his weakness. His weakness is he's cumbersome and he's not good on the ball. But then I don't think he really needs to be.
I think he's comfortable on the ball. We don't play the style of football that means that players can really be allowed to be ball players. In fairness, I think we're very much their one job is clear the ball out. That's it. As soon as you come from the get it out in any way you can, which I think sometimes makes players like Ward panic. And I think he's a better player than that. But Zouma, I think last week.
That's right. Sorry, correction, everyone. It wasn't a straight red. It was 2 yellows, 1 game ban.
Yeah.
Sorry, mate.
Yes, I think Zouma was clearing up for Aguerd quite a lot last week, and he didn't have to do that much this weekend. So I'll give him an 8, mainly because I think he was a good captain today. I think he kept the players cool when there was arguments going on. He was dragging them out. He was saying, "Look, sort yourself out." And maybe we found a new captain because I think it's definitely decided who it is. I think it just tends to be at the moment, unless they have decided and haven't announced it. I don't know, but.
I've lost you in the chat, Doddsy. I did see it when I whizzed past. I'm doing my best. Big shout out to Richard Dodds, who's in the coach on the way back with his mates. All right. I hope you don't get stuck in traffic on the way back to the West Country. Stop and get some pasties on the way. But yeah, so you went for an 8. Sorry, Luke.
Yeah, I am because he didn't make. If you're giving Aguerd an 8 and he got a red card, then he done well as a captain. So that's where he is for me.
Yeah, I mean, look, don't get me wrong, but Aguerd, he got a red card. He also got a goal. Got us off on the the opening goal as well. So
maybe it's 7 for Zouma then.
Yeah, no.
He didn't score, the bastard.
I think the defense was good. Well, the centre backs and Areola, that middle bit was good. Soucek, shit in the first half, better in the second half.
I thought it was all right in the first half.
I thought he was shit, mate. I think he was getting caught on the ball all the time. He was sloppy. He was aggressive. Don't get me wrong. The application was there, but I think he's the quality of his play and the way that Chelsea play they don't really play over the top. So his height wasn't really an advantage as such. He wasn't really cutting anything out in that way. He made a couple of good challenges though in the second half. He gave the penalty away as well, which didn't go in. But yeah, for me, I think I'm going to give him a 6. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to give Soucek a 6. I'm going to be kind. I do think he was much better in the second half, but he was a below average in the first half. So I'll average that out. I'll give him a 6. I'll give him a 6. He weren't terrible, but I thought he was sloppy in the second half, in the first half. Do you agree with that or not?
I agree. I'll give him 6/7. I don't think he was as bad as people making him out, but I think we were playing a different style than we were last week. We weren't attacking as much anywhere near because we got the early goal that then set us on the back foot to be in parking a bus. And I think sometimes he is much better with the constant flow of going forward and going back, and the counter attack actually works for him. I think that's why last week against Bournemouth he was outstanding.
So in these games, Luke, so what you're saying is because I don't think this was a game for Soucek. When you've got Alvarez, when you've got Fornals on the bench, because we look so much better when Fornals came on. What is Soucek going to play every minute of every game when we've got all of these options now? Because like I said, now we've got five pieces of that puzzle. You've got Ward-Prowse, Paqueta, Soucek, Alvarez, and Fornals. That's what we've got now. And I think that Soucek is a tool that you use for certain games. That's my belief anyway. Right. I think the other 4 players we're talking about there, Alvarez and Fornals, Alvarez is better defensively. So if you want a defensive player, stick Alvarez in there. And Fornals is a better player. So
I think that's what I can't see him dropping Soucek personally.
It's mad though, isn't it?
It's a very rarity. I think he was dropped for one game or something last season. He was brought on a sub anyway. So, and if I'm honest, I think the way that we saw it today, the subs being used today, I think that's the way Moyes will play it throughout the season. That Alvarez will be an off the bench player in the Premier League. He'll come on to do his job, which is clean up. He might be using the cups in the Europa League more. Fornals will come on. He come on as a striker today for the striker. So, in my opinion, he's probably going to use as the forward outlet, which no doubt he's good at doing.
Yeah,
he played well when he come on.
But I wouldn't mind. Listen, my problem with Soucek is the fact he's been shit for 18 months, and it seems like he's undroppable even when he plays bad.
Agree.
I haven't got an issue with Soucek being at the club and being used on rotation and used in the right way. But it can't be every minute of every game because he doesn't suit every opposition. He doesn't, you know. If you're playing against a team that are fucking launching balls through over the top and playing quite direct in the same style, Soucek will have a great game. You know, he will do. He'll be cutting out or loads of set pieces that are coming in. You know, he's good. He's good at that. But yeah, I don't know. I hope that doesn't happen. I hope that Moyes does get more creative in that midfield area because I don't understand why Soucek has to be the first name and the untouchable name on the team sheet. That's always going to be a bone of contention for me with David Moyes, I'm afraid. It is.
It's his pet, isn't it? It's his school pet. Yeah, it's his pet. It's the way, and it's funny because it's like you say, today worked out, but it might not work out another time. And we're gonna have. I think he might be forced to do squad rotation, but we're also in about 4 competitions, so he'll probably say, right, you're going to get this, you're going to get that. You two will start in Europa League. You two will start in the cup games or whatever. So, it's worked today. It kind of worked against Bournemouth. We didn't lose. He'll see that as some sort of win. So he'll probably keep playing this for the foreseeable future. So, you know.
No, I know. John Carr says, Nick, I think you should rate the atmosphere over there today. It was a bit flat and toxic. Yeah, mate. Do you know what? It wasn't too bad where I was. It was flat, right? But you know something? I'm not going to rate the atmosphere because that's rating the fans. And listen, there isn't much to cheer about when you're watching this style of football. I'm going to say that now. You cheer goals. But the rest of the time, you're just sitting on the fucking edge of your seat, but not in a good way because you're nervous, because you sat back. This football style fills you with anxiety when you're watching from home and you kind of just shitting yourself the whole time. You're either bored and frustrated or you're anxious. And that is why it's flat, because the minute we scored after 7 minutes, the rest of that half, Luke, you're just like, fucking hell. And that's why. So no, I'm not going to rate that because that's rating the fans. And fans, we're not happy clappers. We're not just going to fucking go and stand in an arena and just cheer and sing when there's fuck all to cheer and sing for. You don't do that. It's frustrating. We're invested in the football. We go over there to watch a game of football.
It's not even the goals that get fans cheering. It's the style of play. You could miss 10 chances, but if you know that the players are giving it all and the passing is really good, like Bournemouth away last week. I'm sorry, but I was really happy with the performance, especially in the first half. And I thought, you know what, even if we lose this game, I'm happy because you can see the players are playing really well. They're going for it. There's an intensity about a game.
Yeah.
And when you go from getting such an early goal to then being not flat because the play is so rigid and so one-dimensional and so almost stubborn.
Yeah.
In a day, realistically, 60,000 there people are there for a day out, right? They're not at home and they're comforted in their own home watching it from TV. I know you can't play to the fans want all the time, but there are times where you're going to go, it's a Sunday afternoon. Sunday's a lazy day anyway, so people have got that in their heads anyway. And then you go in there, and you're going to watch that. And I don't know how
it's like Scott R says, look, in retrospect, we can look at that. Funny beating Chelsea by 2 and people are losing their mind. Look, mate, I'm not losing my mind. I was happy. I was buzzing when I came out of there because, you can see that by the video. But when I look back, was I enjoying it? No, I weren't enjoying it, mate. I weren't enjoying it. It weren't pretty, but the players competed hard and they stuck in. Yeah, they were. But you can't have... Listen, this is why... You teams that play this style of football typically don't exist in big stadiums. That is a big 60,000 seater arena. It's a type of arena where you put on a fucking show. for 60,000 people. It's not small. It's not intimate. It's not. This is a stadium for big clubs and entertaining football. Unfortunately, you're not going to get that if the football ain't right. Then it's quiet in there. I wouldn't say it was toxic either. I don't think it was toxic. I mean, not where I was anyway. Not where I was.
There's pockets of that atmosphere that sometimes you won't be able to hear, look at, or see, or whatever. So there could be some, some elements of that stadium could have been toxic. You never know, because some people, they like a certain style over football over anything else or whatever. They might have their own stuff like that. So I watched the game at home today, and within I think half an hour, and I'd never get like this. I was bored and I was frustrated, and I
know.
Scott,
sorry, mate, go on.
Saying it was like visual sandpaper.
But Scott R says Chelsea. Look, listen, mate. I'm not saying that what David Moyes did was wrong. I'm not. I've said earlier on. I said if this type of tactic that we play today, if it was just reserved for the likes of Chelsea and Man City, every fan would accept it. You would, you would, because it's probably the right tactic against Chelsea that have got all that talent. But the issue that we've got is it isn't. It's what we watch week in, week out. It's a stock tactic. We did it against Bournemouth. So that is a problem. If this was something that he pulled out of the hat for certain games, you would accept it. Of course you would.Maybe he will. Because what we saw today was, even when we went down to 10 men, even when Antonio was taken off, we still had creative flair. Yeah. We still had the ability with Fornals and Bowen and fucking Emerson linking up with Paqueta. There's so much talent in that team. There should never be a reason where all you do is you just sit. They're not really. But like I say, today it did work. And look, I'm not unhappy. I'm being impartial. I was extremely happy now. But as everyone knows, my happiness doesn't last long. So I'm kind of what it is. I'm trying to be rational with it, because it weren't a fucking good game, but we came out on top. We won,
Totally agree.
And praise the Lord. Right, Ward-Prowse, give him a score anyway. How'd he do?
I'm gonna give him a solid 8.
He was good.
I don't remember doing anything wrong, giving a pass away.
I thought he was iffy in the first half, getting into the game, and then he got into the game. He settled down, and he was really good. Apart from his set pieces were good. His corners, but
the thing is with me is I don't really. I think the whole team were held back due to us parking the bus, and I feel genuinely like the players have playing with one hand tied behind their back because of our style of play.
Yeah,
that's just the way I get. That's the way I feel. So I'm not going to sort of lambast particular players for the way they played. But I think on the face of it, and I don't always like doing this because I feel like it's an overall performance rather than what you do. But the ball to Antonio for the second goal, first time left foot was perfect. I know he had to work to create a chance, but and then obviously the two corners which led to the goal. So he for a debut against Chelsea, with the way we were playing, I think he done bloody well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think he did. And the only thing that I will say about him is, even though he did a few defensive kind of blocks today, I thought there ain't really much of a presence with Ward-Prowse in the middle. I think he's got very good passing ability. We can see that. We saw that with the set pieces that he can take. He must be able to strike a ball well. And with the ball over the top for Antonio with his weaker foot was very, very good. But the only thing, when I look at him in there, he looks very diminutive compared to the rest of the players. And it ain't like he makes up with that with loads of pace. He hasn't got loads of pace either. So he's quite small. He's quite slow. But I think his positional awareness is good. He seems to be able to sort of get him. He reads the game well. Gets himself into the right areas. But I'll be honest with you, it was a really good debut. I like him, and I'm glad we've got him now. But do I think he's amazing? No. I'm going to be honest. I think we look better when Fornals came on for Ward. I prefer, in terms of football, I prefer Fornals to Ward-Prowse, if I'm honest. I don't know, a lot of people are going to crush me for that. I do. I love Fornals. I think he's more progressive. I think Fornals looks forward. He's always on the front foot. He carries the ball. I love him. I really do. But he's a great player. He's a great player, though, Ward-Prowse. I'm not digging him out.
Not being funny, but I think the writing was on the wall when we signed him, because today was, for me, highlighting what the plan is going forward. We're not going to play. We're not here to play football this season. All we're doing is looking to play set pieces.
Yeah.
And that's fine. But my whole thing against that was going, well, if you're going to try and get set pieces like free kicks and, you know, in and around the box and whatever, you need to actually get the players up the other end of the field to win those free kicks and win those corners to try and get on set pieces. And Ward-Prowse hasn't been signed for anything other than the set pieces. I'm sorry, but if it's now, then they're wrong, because the writing is on the wall with his signing. And if it works, who am I to judge or to criticise? Because if it's a game plan that works,
look, exactly. Look, if we've got Moyes ball this season, which we have because we've got Moyes, then I hope it works and I hope it's successful. And if we keep on smashing and grabbing wins against teams like that, then it's gonna be all right. It ain't gonna work every week, but today it did work, and I came out of that floating on air. I've got to be honest; it was a dramatic game. That's one thing I'll say. The game was full of drama. It was edgy your seat stuff, not because of our football, but because you're full of anxiety. But the release at the end made it worth it when Paqueta put that penalty away. And that's what I'm going to go to talk on to now. Do I do his rating in decimals or fractions, mate? What do you reckon? 2-1, 3-1.
What's a stake on your? What's at stake?
Did you lump on his yellow? But no, look, Lucas Paqueta, he's probably had a really, really shit few days. He has, and I've got no doubt whatsoever that he would have been involved in. But he would have been involved in that decision today, whether or not he played. Moyes would have come to him, and I'll get on to Moyes about this after as well. But Moyes would have gone to him and said, "Are you okay? Are you okay to play?" And he would have wanted to have played there today.
Really?
And you know something? But he would have. He would have wanted to have played. He'd have gone, "Yeah, no, I'm fine." And the fact of the matter is, he would have. If he'd have said to Moyes, "Look, I'm not all right in my head," he's got other options there now. He's got Fornals who he's had to drop. So he's had to drop Fornals to bring James Ward-Prowse in. So I'm certain that he would have had a conversation with Paqueta. He has backed him. He's come in, and Paqueta put in a brilliant performance. It wasn't his best performance. He wasn't quite right at first. There was some weird shit with Sterling in the second half. That was right in front of me. I don't know what he did there, where he held Sterling off and then stopped. So I don't know whether the linesman waved his flag or something, because he went over and had a go at the lino. That was weird, but he just kept on going, and he
was a free kick, didn't he? That's what he was a free kick.
But even when he ain't at the top of his game, he can just do brilliant things, and he can unlock defenses. He's wonderful, and because of the circumstances, right? Because of the circumstances, and because I love him, and because he's had a really, really rough time of it lately, I'm giving him a 10. I'm giving the man a 10. I actually am. I'm putting that at 10. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. It's up to you lot who you give as a man in a match. But I am rating Paqueta as a 10. I love him. I want him to stay. And honestly, I just think he showed such character. He showed such character against Bournemouth when he came in. A lot of players wouldn't have risked their bodies when a Man City deal is there. He was throwing himself in a way. He's 100%. You know, you can't question the man. You know, he didn't have a dog in the fight in AZ. His family weren't even in that stand. He's in there windmilling, getting stuck in. You can't question this man's character. I love him. He might be a little bit too good for us, which is why we might end up losing him. He probably is, if we're being honest. But I love him to pieces. I'm giving him a 10. I'm giving him a 10. I'm sorry. I don't care. Go on, what do you reckon?
It's weird. I don't really want to give him a 10 because I don't think he was... For the whole game, I don't think he was like, you know...
It's my score. Giving him a 10.
Players out there, but he last 10 minutes, he come out of his shell and he really got involved. Yeah. He's clearly a very headstrong person because I think most players, if they got linked to Man City with their current situation, they wouldn't hesitate to do what Cresswell has been doing lately, which is refusing everything, playing, training, whatever. But he didn't. Just on that, I actually don't think... I think he kind of suits our play. Because I think if he was in the Man City team where you've got to kind of pass as soon as you get the ball almost, you haven't got time to do what he likes to do, which is get on the ball, you know, knock a defender off and then nutmeg him when they come back for him or something like that. But to do that, and then this week with the betting stuff, I thought to myself, do you know what? He might get dropped. And not due to his attitude, just due to the media, you know, thing around him. I think what says a lot about him is the way he reacted to getting the free kick.
I'm being supportive. I'm supporting our man. I'm giving him a 10. All right.
And then obviously the celebration for the goal, because that was like he was releasing a lot of stress going through. So I wouldn't give him. I maybe give him. I'm being quite harsh here, I think, actually. I think I maybe give him an 8.
Fuck, I'm glad I didn't give you that, mate. Honestly,
so, yeah, no, fair enough.
I'd have been.
I don't mean I want to rate him, but I think the last 10 minutes he come alive and he was bang on it. So
Yes,
fair
epic.
play.
He says, "Fuck it. If you give him a 10, I'm going to give him 15." There you go. That's what I like. That's the spirit.
That's allowed.
That's allowed. Listen, you know what? I gave him a 10. He's had a bad few days. He's shown commitment. He did affect the game well today. His shithousery was great. There was one moment where he had that kind of clash with Cascedo and he was boiling up, and Moyes spoke to him, and Paqueta went, "No, I'm fine." Like that. He went, "No, I'm fine." As if to say, but as if to say, "Don't worry, boss. I'm not going to do anything stupid."
I'm actually.
I'm not going to do anything
stupid. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah. But he went like that to him. He went, "No, it's fine." And then about 5 minutes later, he runs over to the corner. He starts basically just dicking around with Cascedo, their new £130 million signing. Oh, look, shit, didn't he? That was good. Yeah. But yeah, so that was a 10. Did he get a yellow today? Yes, he did, for remonstrating at the official that confused him when he did that thing with Sterling. It was funny when it was just holding Sterling off. And then he just stopped because he looked at the linesman, stopped, and then Sterling just nicked the ball and ran down the wing, and then Paqueta ran over like he was going to do a hatchet job on the oh, sorry, Mace, you can't do that. I don't feel sorry for you, mate. I don't feel sorry for you.
That's not allowed either.
It's not allowed. It's not allowed. But yeah, look, Ben, I'll give you a bit. Let's whiz through these now, mate. So let's just get these done. So go on, Benny.
3.
That's harsh, man. You can't donk him up. Seriously. Well, it's your score, actually. You can. Go on. It's up to you. Don't let Eastside know where you live, though.
There's no background here.
Right.
Yeah. Can't recognise my
furniture. That's brutal. Go on.
I think it was his worst game for us.
You think so?
I honestly think it was his worst. First half, the thing with Benrahma that frustrates me, and it almost makes his performances redundant.
Oh no! Eastside donked Benny up. He gave him a 4. Yeah, getting on his nerves, knees dropping. Oh, fair enough.
He does a lot of hard work.
Yeah,
but we all know it's a bit like Antonio. When he gets in front of goal, you know that whatever he chooses to do is not going to go right. And to an extent, it's getting annoying almost, and I'm getting fed up with it. And first half, there was a moment where, hold on a minute, hold on.
Go on. I'll tell you what. I'll take over. That moment with Benrahma, just to build on that, the moment of the match for me was when he got put through on goal, and he's on his stronger foot as well. And it was a brilliant opportunity. And then for whatever reason, he took it onto his left foot, made the angle worse. I just don't know what goes through the guy's head sometimes. I really, really don't. I find it very, very strange. But I do think a free's harsh. He frustrates. Everything Luc's saying is right. Everything you're all saying is right. It's because Benrahma is going to get judged on his output. And his output isn't work rate. When you're at that end of the pitch, it's got to be your final ball. It's got to be, especially because he gets so many opportunities as well, because the guy don't hide. He's always showing for the ball, so you can't call him lazy or anything. But I don't know what it is. And can't be. You can't even blame Moyes for this, because Moyes is sticking with him. He ain't dumping it. He ain't dropping him. He's sticking with him now. But I do think if he loses his place now and somebody else comes in and does well, you won't be seeing him back in there again, because he's a 1 in. I said this the other week, Luke. He's a 1 in 10 merchant, isn't he? When it comes to final ball or shot with him.
I don't want to hate him, because I feel like he's.
I don't hate him. I don't hate him. I like him.
I want to rate him. I want to.
Yeah.
Rely on him, but it gives 100%. You can't knock him for that. He's always trying to do things. He more or less he'll beat 2 or 3 players. Absolutely no problem at all. No problem with that. But it's the shooting. It'll go, Rose Ed.
Yeah.
I think the perfect example of him realistically was last season against Man United when he hit the shot. And and then De Gea let it in anyway, and he was like, "Oh, it's gone in." But that was kind of like, even if he does try something, it never really comes off, and he's not quick enough. It takes an age for him to make the decision, and when he doesn't go anywhere. I think there was a part in the first half where he blazed over, and the next one there was a bit of passing between our players, He's like, which one's going to take it on? And so he took it on. He didn't pass it. And he went and ran across the wall of Chelsea defenders.
Yeah.
And he lost it. And the whole fans went, oh, he's a frustrating player. And the trouble is that if we're going where we want to go, which is, Europe for 3 seasons, we're going after these players from Ajax and all the rest of it.
Do you agree with this point from Vinay? He says Benny is underachieving for someone with his skill level, and this is why we get frustrated with him. Is because he is capable of more. Yeah. He's a talented boy, he really is.
There's a part of me that wants him to be played central, like Fornals was last week.
Yeah.
He's better in a number 10 role because coming in from the wings, I think he's maybe struggling on the wing. He can't produce as much as he would do through the middle.
Yeah,
holding him back maybe.
No, that's fine. Well, there's a lot of people that agreed with you on the donkey. My score would have been.
I don't want to be right. I don't want to be right.
No, that's fine. Jared Bowen. That's a bit of Go on, do you want to take Bowen? I don't really remember too much of what he did, to be honest, apart from defensive work.
No, he had a quiet game for himself. He had a very quiet game. And like I said, it wasn't the worst game, but he didn't. For me, it was the same with him last week because without that brilliant goal, I don't think he did much last week.
He didn't. He didn't.
He seems to. I know they're going. We want to try him as a striker. Like,
do you think he's having to cover for fucking Soucek too much?
Probably is. Look, if it was up to me, and this might be an unpopular opinion, but I'd have Kera at right back instead of Soucek. I think Soucek, like Soucek, certain games suit him, and Soucek, he's got all the heart, desire. He makes good tackles, but he's also quite hot-headed at times, and I think he doesn't really think things through from a defensive point of view. And you're right, and Bowen probably does have to cover him a lot. And Bowen works hard. That's what you can do. Bowen for a winger works hard defensively, just as much as he works hard offensively.
Do you think Scott's got a point here? Bowen actually looked better when he was playing up top at the end.
He did. I agree with that because there was a few times where he got the ball and he had like two Chelsea players on him, and he still managed to get past them or do something. So we seem to be a team we seem to have a team of players that only play well when they're put centrally.
Yeah,
they struggle when they're out in the wings, and it is.
I think they're all sick of them wide positions, aren't they? Because they've got to cover for the fullbacks.
It's. I don't know.
I do think that Bowen. I mean, I worry. Look, listen. Bowen couldn't do what Antonio did today. Forget that, right? He couldn't fight defenders like Antonio did today. But if you played in a slightly different way, he'd be very good because he's probably one of the best finishers at the club. So I do think he could progress into a forward player.
In Moyes' head, if you're going to score,
he's like Danny Ings with pace.
Yeah, if you're going to score a goal from open play, I think the perfect scenario for Moyes would be a good Antonio controls it, Bowen makes a run, Antonio feeds Bowen scores. That's in my head. I think that's where he thinks is the perfect scenario. So I feel a bit bad for it. I'd give him a 5 maybe because he wasn't bad, he wasn't good either.
No,
was that a 6? Is that
that's a 6? But as per our matrix, because we do things differently, that's a 6 if it's an average game.
Okay,
that's fine. Right, I'll take Mickey. I was really impressed with him today. I'll be honest with you. You still have little moments from him where, because look, he is what he is. He's cumbersome. He's clumsy sometimes. But I thought his work rate was just, he was giving that defender, that big centre-back hell. He was fighting the guy. He was manhandling them. He should have had way more fouls than what he got. He weren't diving today. He was getting some bad treatment from them. They was being quite rough. And his attitude was spot on. I thought he was fantastic. And that goal was brilliant. And I think he looked sharp today. I think it was refreshing. And I know a lot of people, it's like, look, people have just got the hump of him now. Like Antonio Iffy, 6, 7, 7. I don't know. I think he was outstanding today for me. I'm gonna give him an 8. He scored a fucking great goal as well. Scored a great goal. He probably deserves a 9, but I'm gonna give him an 8. I think that role. What people seem to forget is, and I hear it a lot. Yeah, I hear it a lot on, and we've seen it ourselves. We've seen the proof in this system that we play. People go, once Antonio's playing for a bit, we've got to go and get another striker. We've got to get a striker. We've had Scamacca. We've had Heller. We've got Danny Ings. They all look shit in this system. compared to Antonio, when Antonio's doing that. None of them can do it. They can't do it. If we're going to go out and get another striker, we need someone just like him, because it is a very particular role that needs to be played. It isn't a typical striker role, Luke, is it? It's not.
No. I know people at the time said I was, sort of maybe delusional was the word I want to use, which is fair enough if that's their opinion. But I still stand by it. When he was on their podcast and I asked him about Scamacca, and he said, you can't play the Moyes way, because when you play for Moyes, you're dealing with scraps. I know it was before the conference final and everything like that.
Yeah.
It is true. You can't deny it, but especially in the first half, because it was murder watching in the first half, because there was nothing that he could run onto. People are saying, he needs to work harder. But then he could get the ball just past the halfway line, but then he's got to take it past 3 or 4 other Chelsea players just to get to their own box. People have to realise that he's, unfortunately for us, and unfortunately for him in many ways, he's the only player that can play that role because of his size, his strength, and his stature.
And we do need another one as well, because the guy's 34 now, and I don't care how strong he is, he must fucking hurt after playing a match like that today. He must be aching like shit. He can't play 2 matches in a week like that.
I think he looked knackered. I think when he come off for 4 hours, he looked knackered. And,
but there's no way when Europe comes, we can't play him. We can't play him Thursday and Sunday. You can't do it, because all you're going to end up with is a 50% Antonio. And the issue is, when you have a 50% Antonio, he's shit, because he's unfortunately he's all about his physical attributes.
Yeah. And I think that's where maybe Moyes is thinking of promoting Midfield, because Midfield's Antonio version 2 potentially, and with technical ability as well. Because most of us know that goal he scored against Chelsea today, 75% of the time that goes in Rowe's head, or that goes, into the defender's chest, and they get clear it out, because he has that finish in him, but he doesn't do it every week. That's not a week for Antonio. That's a rarity, to be fair to him. But he takes what he can get, because again, he's dealing with scraps. And the funny thing is that the ironic thing about signing James Ward-Prowse is Soucek will get more service than Antonio does. Because of the set pieces. So.
What we'll do, we won't talk about these too much, or these 3 that much, because they didn't have that much time. But I thought Pablo Fornals, Alvarez, Nogbona, we'll mark them all together. I thought they were all fucking really solid when they came on. They did nothing wrong. They adapted to the speed of the game really, really quickly. And I was thoroughly impressed with them. So I'm going to give them all a 7, because they helped us see the game out. I don't think we could have asked too much more of them. Do you agree with that?
This is one of them situations where Fornals is regarding. I thought it was incredibly harsh to drop Fornals.
It was,
right, which it was, but to an extent. What do I know? Because within the first 10 minutes or whatever,
Prowse
put 2 delicious corners in, which I don't think Fornals would be capable of doing that good, and we scored from them.
But it shouldn't have been. It shouldn't have been Fornals that made way, is what we're trying to say.
No, I think personally. Well, the problem is that I put on the West Ham Facebook post that I think if anyone should be dropped, it should be Paqueta, because Paqueta's head wouldn't be in the game compared to the others. And I think Soucek played really well last week. So, there's, to an extent, what do I know? Because for me, I would have done it. And let's face it, if Fornals had played ahead of James Ward-Prowse, we might not have scored that goal. So I know.
Right, Peter Wanks. Every referee's Peter Wanks. So, what did you make of his performance today?
I think he was good. I think he actually. We slag off referees a lot, but I think he was pretty good today. The only thing I think he should have done was when Gallagher got pissed off with Paqueta's dive or whatever it was towards the end of the game, and he pushed Paqueta saying, get on with it or don't dive. That's a yellow card for me, and he should have been a yellow card, but he waved it off as just angry banter or whatever you want to call it, showmanship and what have you. So apart from that, I don't really have much against him. I think he called everything right. I don't actually. I remember being a bit thingy, but I thought the Chelsea penalty was a free kick. I didn't think he was inside the box. The contact for me was made on the line or just before. But overall, I don't think he. And do you know what I liked? He was card happy. I think sometimes these refs are too scared to give out a regular card because they don't want the game going a certain way. But I think if you deserve to get booked, you deserve to get booked, no matter what time it is and where the game's going. So for me, I'd give him a 7/8 because I don't think he didn't.
That's fine. That's fine. Johnny Tibbs, Peter Wanks. Basically, Peter. When I started doing this, Peter Banks was the referee, and he was shit. So I called him Peter Wanks. I can't be asked to change a thumbnail for referees. So it will forevermore be Peter Wanks as a referee, Mark. That's where it came from. All right. So you're going to give him a 7, yeah?
Yeah, it would have been an 8 for that mistake. I don't think we. Well, is this a referee? I mean,
well, I'll give him an 8 then. That's fine. If you think he had a good one.
I'm not used to giving him good score lines.
No. I know. Not for referees anyway.
No.
Right. I'll take David Moyes today. I'm gonna. Well, first of all, what I'll do, I'll let you have a little peek. There you go. That's right. Just for a minute, I want to talk about I'm taking this off momentarily, by the way. I was impressed with the fact that he stuck with Paqueta. I think he could have, he could not have. I think he took a bit of a risk today, sort of playing him as well, because you didn't know where his mind was going to be and stuff like that. And he stuck by him as well. He did with Zouma. I kind of appreciate that. And this is where kind of his loyalty pisses me off with Soucek. But then you see it with stuff like this is actually quite nice. So momentarily, I'm gonna take it off. But I still haven't seen enough for the donkey to be removed permanently. So it is going to go back on. It's going to take a while. It's going to take a while for that to come off completely. But today was a move in the right direction. I thought the first half was awful. I think we were lucky to sort of get anything out of the game really. They were poor clinically, in Chelsea in terms of the amount of ball they had and their conversion. They should really have been out of sight in the first half. I think they made more than enough chances to have kind of buried that game by half time. If they go in at 2-1 up and the second half and we're chasing the game, it's going to be a bloodbath for us because that's when they're going to cut us open. But the second half, what I will say is he managed the game well. From that point, I think the second half was better. So we came out. We didn't seem to be sat as deep all the time, although there were periods where we were. When we was presented with problems, like with Aguirre, he managed it really well. I think his subs and his game management were good, And I do think, like I said, these tactics. Listen, if you get a 3-1 win at home to Chelsea, you'll swallow it. You will. At the end of the game, you will swallow it. But you do have to get a result when you play this way. You have to. You have to get a result when you play this way. Otherwise, you look very fucking stupid. So for me, I'm going to give him a 4. I'm going to give him a 4 today, for me personally. You probably think that's brutal, Luke. Go on, you can give him your score as well.
No, I can understand your reasons for it, mate.
Yeah, like I say,
if you're in the Moyes fan club, let's face it, are you? So
no, the style of football I'm not on, and I think today. Like I say, I will not have anyone come to me and tell me that what he does is a fucking is a masterclass. It's not masterful to sit so many players behind the ball. It's not. It's not. Anyone could do it. Any team could sit 10 players behind the ball. Don't press. Just sit in your shape. Make it difficult for you to fucking pass through. Any team is going to struggle with that. You could see it with Chelsea. They were going back and forth, back and forth. There was no way through. They were struggling. They were trying to go around the outside of us. So no, for me, I think I am being generous, Artel, but I think a 4. But we got the result today. That is fine. I'm not giving him a donkey on today's performance. But I haven't seen enough to remove the donkey that's been sitting on that head for about 6 months now. Okay, so I've got to see more. I've got to see more before I make that move. Go on, you talk a little bit about Moyes yourself, there, mate. And I'm going to put a man of the match poll in the chat before we move on to the phone calls. Also, people, just very very quickly on these live shows. I don't know why we rarely get loads and loads of we don't get very many likes on them. So if you are watching it, we've got 700 watching at the minute. Hit a like on it for us. It does help us, please. That'd be very very much appreciated. Go on then, mate. What are you thinking?
No. Sort of forgot now. First of all, before anyone goes further, Nick vehemently is not in the Moyes camp, and I've seen
I'm far from it.
It's almost regular videos that Nick is saying Moyes out, but he's been very complimentary for Nick. he's been very complimentary for Moyes. So anyone who watches these videos and goes, "Oh, Nick's just Moyes out, whatever happens," no, he's not, because
I'm not.
When you agree with something, you agree with something. So
Yeah.
I'm not blowing smoke up your ass, but I am saying that fair play. Like, people need to realise that, be like me sometimes. If I think things are right, and I've been constantly saying,
I'm not stubborn. I'm not stubborn.
Well, in some ways, no. This parking the bus is tactical genius when you do it at certain segments of games, not when you do it for the whole load, for the reasons for it.
Yeah.
And we all know, really, that this isn't the only game that Moyes is going to play this way. He's probably going to do it for a few lower league, if we're against, I don't know, Luton at home or something like that, he'll do the same thing, because that's what he does. And I wanted him out at half time. I tweeted about it. The football was dire. I don't really want to see the players playing that way, because I think they're better than that. I think we've got better profile player to play that formation. The thing that I can't moan at is the win, is the result, because no matter what you say about it, unless it was a ridiculously lucky goal, we like Masuaku, when it was 3-2 Chelsea, when he went across it in, but he went in anyway. We kind of worked for those goals, and like some people say, I've seen people saying online, is the fact that against Chelsea, the way they were playing, parking the bus was good. It was the good tactics to use, and I'm not going to argue with that, because as much as I don't like, I hate seeing that when it doesn't need to be played, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But today we probably did it right, and Sterling was killing us on the left wing. There were players that were faster than our defence, so we probably did what we needed to do. And we got the win. And the problem is with that is the fact that I was so deflated throughout the game, that even at 2-1, I was happy we're winning 2-1. I was like, wow, this is actually really good. We're winning, this has but I couldn't enjoy it.
No.
And the penalty was like, I was like, oh, we got a penalty. And I was like, okay, Paqueta scored it, great. But I was already, and it's just, like I said, it's kind of like almost like patheticness, because do you remember when the Conference League final?
It's the relief. Do you know, like when you win a game, what it is, it's relief.
Mm.
When you, it's like that you came out of there feeling fucking relieved that you'd won.
Yeah.
That's how I felt. You rarely have an instance where we'll play a team off the park and we've just watched a brilliant, beautiful game of football, and we've deserved to win, and we've won, and we've literally, that I've kind of almost forgotten what that feels like, to be honest, to a degree.
Look, this is the sort of point, is it always gets banded about. Well, first of all, the first thing I was going to bring up was about that before the conference final. I think Gary was telling you, wasn't it, that you were so angry at Moyes and so angry when we were playing. He was like, look, it's the first final.
It is Areola, by the way. Is that him and Paqueta?
You need to enjoy it for what it is, and forget the Moyes stuff, forget the formation stuff, just enjoy the final. And I think I kind of needed to do that at the end of the game. I was like, no, we've won the game here. I've slagged them all game, Moyes, but maybe I'm being a bit blindsided. I really should enjoy it for what it is. But we're never gonna, no matter what team, really, realistically, right? You don't, unless you're Man City or you're or that ilk, you're not going to play teams off the park every week. So I don't expect us to roll, win 2, 3, 4-0 every game and bulldoze and play out absolutely efficiently. But
no,
I do want us to play with some cohesion, some intensity. And I think when Moyes first come, we did play like that. We lost our way over the last 18 months or so. And look, 4 points from the first 2 games, considering the games we had. I think when everyone looked at it a bit dodgily, going, "Oh, this isn't very good," we could easily be, near 0 points after 2 games. But we've done well. And I think today it does something which he never normally does, which is bring subs on before the 10th minute. His tactics worked. Even though I didn't agree with him, and again, this is me being a bit short-sighted. And I was going, bring 4,000 for Antonio. This is more defensive, innit? But it worked, because we played. We played almost better without Antonio, because it was like the Chelsea players didn't really know who to mark, because they were like, right, well, now the striker's gone off. Who's going to be up front for him now? So do you know what? For this game, I think my hands up. I was frustrated. I didn't like it, but I'll send you a meme after this, actually, Nick, that I made before I go on it. I'm going to use it at some point. But I might not like it, but I've got to lump it, because we've got the result and it worked. So
absolutely. I think, but I think that is the case. Look, listen, if we shit ass wins the whole way through the season and we end up in the top 4, like I said, if you play this way, you can't, you won't complain. You won't enjoy it, but you won't. What I'm saying is, if this was to get you success and trophies every year and you'd be up the top, then you would swallow it. You would. But you need success if you play that way. I believe so anyway.
I think you also need to see that there's some...
Oh, that one there.
Yeah, that one there.
Yeah, I know.
I think there's some point in the game there needs to be...
very good.
You know, there needs to be some sort of... people need to see that you've got an avenue to win a game.
Sydney, wrong joke, but you're Vito from Sydney.
Hang on.
Up the Hammers.
Where's he come from? Did you hear that?
Yeah, I did.
That was Russ. I must have had that playing in the background.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, look, everyone. Just very quickly, the phone lines are open. So if you do want to phone in, please do. I'll put the phone up at the bottom there. And as I said earlier on, I won't ask again because everyone gets bored of it. But if you do drop a like on the video, it will really help us. All right. Thank you very much. But yeah, mate, it's so difficult. And like I say, I don't think it's negative. I think when you watch a match and you're trying to review it, you have to review the game, what you've seen as well. You've got to kind of be open and honest. Oh, hang on, here we go. Oh, it's not going to work, is it? Is it going to work first time, Gary? No, it's having one of its moments. Hello, Gary.
How you doing, all right?
I'm all right, mate. Right, I'm gonna have to restart me thingamy jig, and I'll call you back.
Okay.
All right, cheers, mate. But yeah, no, it's difficult, mate. And I think you do have to. You've got to review it. You've got to be honest. You can't just, like I say, when I walked out of that place, you saw me. I was actually smiling. I was very happy because you feel that sense of relief. And we've done one over on Chelsea. I didn't think in a million years we was going to get anything out of that game, mate. I really didn't today. I couldn't see it. Not really.
You need that bit of luck as well sometimes. And
yeah,
I think we got that with Antonio, and that maybe sparked up a bit more. But as I've said before, like you need to if you are going to play that way, you need to have some sort of avenue that when we go forward, we're going to make the most of it. We have players that can do something, and you're going to try and win a free kick up front or something like that. But yeah, I think if you have to, if you're a team like managed by Mourinho sort of plays the same style, but he wins trophies, so
he does.
You won't him because he does what it says on the team. He gets results, and if Moyes finds a formula this season to play the same way and to win more games and for us to be successful, then I'm going to moan about the football style.
That's it. Gary, are you there?
What about?
Yeah, I'm here, Nick. Yeah,
oh, fuck for that. Sorry, mate. Right, it's working. Good stuff. Right, second time lucky. Right, Gary, I don't know if you've been watching the show, but you are on with myself and French Luc.
Yeah, hello, Luke. How you doing, mate?
Hello, mate. You all right?
Yes, thank you. Yeah. Great result today. I watched the game.
Yeah.
I was absolutely thrilled. I think there needs to be a little bit of a reality check here. We just beat a team 3-1. Probably the biggest spending club in the world.
Yes.
We beat them 3-1 with 10 men. Now, first half, I know we rode our luck a bit first half. No two ways. If that penalty goes in, different game, then we're chasing the game when we probably lose 3 or 4-1. I totally agree with you. But
give me the reality check. What's the reality check?
Well, the reality, we just beat a team 3-1 with 10 men for not for 5 minutes either. Quite a long time. In the second half, I thought we were good. I mean, how many chances did Chelsea actually create second half? I watched a couple of Chelsea channels on YouTube, and they were moaning. They created hardly anything. We defended well. Against Man City and the likes of these teams, you're going to have to play this way.
Yeah,
I accept it.
But Gary, listen, I said this earlier on. If you were listening to the show, what I said was, if we set up this way only against teams like Chelsea, like Man City, where it's custom made for teams like that, because if we were to go out and try and press Chelsea, they would probably cut through us anyway. I would accept it. But the issue is, it is nothing different ever. It's the same stock tactic for every game. So this did work, but this is kind of we can't have a one size fits all tactic. And the reason for that is because we've got such talented players, Gary. When we play against the likes of fucking Bournemouth, we can't do what we did last week. We have to go at them and invite them on. But I'm not too sure about they created nothing. We was literally submerged in our own half, and the reason
how many chances?
But Gary, it's impossible sometimes to make chances when you've sat 10 men behind the fucking ball.
Sorry, I mean, I think, second half, I thought we were really good value. Or Antonio up front, I thought was amazing. Listen, I know a lot of football fans have got their favourites. Everyone's got their favourite players, and everyone can be a little bit biased and blinkered sometimes.
Yeah.
Anyone today thinks Antonio didn't have a good game. I'm sorry, I don't know what planet they're on.
Nobody said he hasn't had a good game, though.
No, I don't agree with you. I know you rated Antonio, but there are some people that give him a low score, and I'm thinking, it's not just about putting the ball in the back of the net with a striker. There's not many strikers that can play that role, and you are right. We do need to bring another striker in who can play that role. If we're going to play this way, I do agree with you. When we play lesser teams, we've got to be more expensive. Totally agree with you.
I think with Antonio, I think with a striker in the system, like, would you not agree? I almost feel like scoring goals is secondary to everything else that they do. To be honest, I think it is. I don't think a striker's primary job in this system is probably to score goals. I don't think it is. Not really.
No, you get the goals from other areas.
Hang on, Gary. What'd you say, Luke?
It's sort of, sorry to interrupt you, but it's sort of more of a support network for the other players to go and score, isn't he? Like, if he scores a goal, it's great, but more or less he's up there to be the battering ram against the defenders to sort of hold the ball up and let everyone else run past him or create chances, sort of thing. So Antonio's also constantly used as that sort of dummy in the in the self-defense arts, to just beat him up and the punching bag sort of thing against the defenders, and it's harsh on him sometimes because it takes it all out of him, and it pretty means when he gets a chance in 80 minutes, when he's knackered and he's beaten up by the defenders, that he does miss because he's too tired to concentrate enough to put it away. So.
Yeah, Luke, the thing is, though, you watch Antonio, particularly in the second half, his passing was on cue as well. He was turning, playing people in. I've always liked Antonio, and I know, Nick, you're the same. There are people got their favourites, and it happens in every club, I suppose. People will overlook things sometimes,
It's the type of job that he does. I just think that people sometimes don't realise how difficult that is, and we've set, and especially as we've seen ourselves, players have come in, very, very fucking good players. Scamacca, Haller. We've got one, Danny Ings. He ain't finished. He looks finished in this system because he can't do this thing. But it's a particular job. You got basically, he's a bulldozer. You need to be a bulldozer.
I mean, what I'd like to see a bit more maybe is maybe if we do get another striker in, is maybe we can interchange a bit. I mean, like Bowen, for example, you made a point earlier on. It looked better when he went up front rather than because when he's wide, he does a lot of working back to cover the fullback. You're not always getting the best out of Bowen. And I think whenever a striker come in, you could perhaps get Antonio, Bowen, and the new guy, whoever that be, interchanging a little bit because Antonio can go wide. He can get a good cross in. He's a good crosser of the ball. Yeah. But the other thing I want to say, and I think you absolutely bang on, Nick, and I hope Moyes doesn't get blinkered with this constant thing with Soucek. Now, he had a good game last week, Soucek, but today was a sort of game where you perhaps could have left him out. I think Fornells would have been better because Fornells is a better technician. He would have gone to the ball better. He's still got the work rate. But with 10 men, sorry to interrupt, with 10 men, when Fornells was introduced, we had more attacking intent than what we did when we had 11 men on the pitch. That's what we did with Fornells on the pitch. It gave us more, all of a sudden. Even down to, do you remember this moment with Pablo Fornells? We're defending, I think we was defending a corner. The ball's going out for a throw-in. He races to the fucking sideline. He recovers the ball, just stops it going out. He don't fucking hoof it like Soufal does when he's there. He sprints down the wing, carries it, and he starts an attack. That is what Pablo Fornells brings you. He's Nick, I was gonna ask
such
you,
a good player.
If it's down to you, if you're the manager, you've got the 5 lads in the midfield who can play there.
Yep.
Now, you can only play 3 of them. For me, from what I've seen, I've heard of, this Alvarez, I think he's going to be brilliant for us. I think he's going to be in front of that back 4. So then you've got to play Paqueta. So then you're picking one from Ward-Prowse, Soucek and Fornells. Well, I think personally, Alvarez, Paqueta and maybe Ward-Prowse with 3, with maybe Fornells coming in like the part of the game. I mean, and I wouldn't have Soucek personally.
My 3 at the moment, I know people are going to shut me down because look, he got 2 assists today, so it sounds fucking mental. And I've got nothing against him. My 3, if I was picking 3 for that team, would be Alvarez in the 6 with Paqueta and Fornells. That would be my that would be my 3. Alvarez in the 6, shielding, and Paqueta and Fornells, because And look, listen, I ain't got a problem with James Ward-Prowse playing because I think he's a good little player. He's a good little player, but
the thing is, for a team that really are a threat on set pieces and corners, and through today, you know, if you don't have Ward-Prowse, then you're not getting the deliveries. And he's got the best delivery, best assisting in the Premier League. I mean, it's unbelievable, his stats.
Yeah, I know. And
So
listen, if we're talking about Moyes ball, yeah. So if we're talking about Moyes ball, where the majority of our goals are going to come from set pieces. I know we scored one that wasn't today, but the majority of our goals are going to come from set pieces. We're not worried about crafting anything from open play. Then you have to play James Ward-Prowse. But if you're talking about a team, if you ask me if I was manager. So if I was manager, I would be setting out to try and play football. I know you like ball now, but crafting things from open play. If you want to craft things from open play, with the players that we've got available, my personal choice would be Fornal central. Probably in the 10 with not in the 10. Like I say, I've always said the same thing. I don't like playing two CDMs. I think Alvarez would be enough. You sit him there, and then you got Paqueta and Fornals. Both of them are industrious. They run up and down, and they do that. But let's ask Luke. Luke, what do you reckon?
Well, prior to the new lads coming in, I was adamant, and rather in a huge minority. I think I've been banging my drum about it all summer, especially because we've only just brought these lads in. I wanted a three of Paqueta, Fornals, and Downs because I'm a big fan of Downs. People aren't going to be. I'm the only one that likes him. I totally understand that. I have my hands up. Fair enough. Don't care. But that's just my opinion, right? Now we have put other players in, and maybe he's not as good as these players. I haven't seen enough of Alvarez yet with us to really make the judgment. I never saw him play at Ajax, so I can't talk about that.
I saw a lot that I liked today. He just looks, he looks aggressive. I reckon he'll get a few red cards.
He's going to be a fan favourite, I tell you.
Yeah,
he's going to be a fan favourite.
He's going to fucking munch a few players. I'm telling you.
I'll tell you what I was going to say to you also.
Hang on, Gary. Let Luke finish his point.
Sorry. Yeah, go on, mate.
Just to be quick, I would pick probably the way things are going: Ward-Prowse, Paqueta, and Fornals. But also, I really, because of what I said earlier about Benrahma being so poor today and kind of highlighting his flaws.
That's even more attacking. What you're saying, that's even more attacking than mine.
I would think if you're not going to play Fornals or you don't play JWP, you then play or you do play Fornals, you play Paqueta, Fornals, and Benrahma, and use Benrahma as the number 10 or the attacking midfielder at the 3, because I think I don't see what Benny's going to do out there that he hasn't done 1,000 times over, and the only way to recover his career at West Ham, in my opinion, because he's floundering, is to play him in the middle through the central. So yeah. You know, Paqueta, Fornals, and Benrahma, but then you've got the luxury, the manager's take.
That would be so good. You know what we were talking about earlier on about having not having a one size fits all tactic. So when you do play against a team like Bournemouth, fucking do that. Yeah. Let's have a go at keeping the ball and playing a team off the park, because we do have players with the technical ability to do it. Even down to 10 men, you take Antonio off, you take James Ward-Prowse off. All of a sudden, you've got Fornals, you've got fucking Bowen looked good when he went central. You've got Paqueta and Emerson interlinking. I know I've already said it, but we look good. These players are so good that we've got, and we do forget it sometimes. We think that they're shit because we watch shit football. They're not shit. They're good players.
But they're not. No. A couple of quick points, Nick. First one, again.
Danny Boy.
I said last week this bloke. One week he's 10 out of 10. Next week he's 1 out of 10. I mean, the second yellow card today was absolutely ridiculous. He's got to cut. He's got to stop. He's got to come to terms with the Premier League.
Thank you very much.
You know, that could have cost us today, big time. You know, he's got. And now he's suspended against Brighton now. I know we've got the new lad coming in, the Greek guy, whether he'll slot in or whether he'll play a Bonner next week. The other point I want to make, the last point, is this Kudas from Ajax. He looks absolutely perfect because he can play either side, either flank. He can play down the middle. And that will give us so many options, like I said to you earlier about switching it around.
It will give us flexibility, and he can play. He's played that striker role a lot, so he could definitely do the Antonio role. I think he could almost be. Like, he looks good, mate. He looks really good. Go on, Luke.
So then you could have a front three of Bowen, Antonio, and Kudas, couldn't you?
You could. Go on, Luke. What was you saying?
I was just going to say Gary's comment about Aguerd 1 week being a 10, the next week being a 1. I think he's up there in the game, mate. Never mind week by week.
He is.
He's world class next 20 Sunday league.
But I'm keen to stick with him because
Oh, yeah.
But no, because the reason being, because when you're playing against we always, you remember when we played Liverpool, and he literally kept Salah like so quiet that, and he's so fast.
Yeah.
So when you're playing against forwards with pace, he's amazing. That's when he switches on.
Oh.
You know, he's very good. But
Nick,
he's rash.
Got that yellow card.
He's rash.
He hasn't got the second yellow today, Nick. You've been talking about one of the contenders for man of the match.
Yeah, 100%.
He was very good. But he can't. Now that was such a stupid tackle. It was, you know, the moment he done it, I thought, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
You know, he's got to cut that out of his game. He's got to stop this. You know, because he gets games where he has cost us goals. You know, much as I like him and you do, there's been games when he has cost us, hasn't he?
He has cost us, mate. He has cost us. But anyway, Gary, one more thing, and then we're going to let's see if anyone else wants to phone in. Go on, one more thing. What would you like to say?
One last thing. Well, just like I said to you earlier, I just think we need a couple more players in there, and we've got the midfield lads in. Have we got the Greek guys? He signed yet? I know he came over for his medical, didn't he?
Well, he was standing in the box next to Stuyton today, watching the game. So I think it's more or less done. Yeah.
And I tell you what else is very good. Moyes actually approved of this deal with Stuyton. He's really impressed. That means they're starting to work together a bit better, which is good for the club. You know, rather than pulling in opposite directions. But we can just get this Kudas in, and I'll be very happy.
It's Kudus, Gary. Say Kudus. It's Kudus. But anyway, Gary, lovely to talk to you as always. Lovely to talk to you as always, mate. And we will speak to you again soon. Thank you very much for calling in.
All right. See you, Luke. Tonic.
Salam, mate. Cheers. Bye.
Easy.
He started very aggressively there, Gary. You need a reality check. You need a reality check.
Blame you, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But he was right. To be fair,
no. Look. He is right in what he's saying. You can't argue with that. We beat a team that have spent a ridiculous amount of money, almost $1 billion in two fucking summers. Almost $1 billion. They spent 600 million last window. They spent fucking 400 million this window. I mean, what are they? I just don't know how they do it. I don't know how they get away with it. How can they not be on the FFP fucking watch
out
list?
of interest, why haven't they got? I know it's only a small, stupid thing, but why there's them and another team in the league that don't have sponsors on the front of their shirts? Why is that?
I don't know. I don't know, mate.
Sponsors be on the shirts, and it looks weird to me. I want to know why.
No, Scott, you won't get banned, and you won't make any money either because the odds will be shit because he's always offside. The bookies ain't that stupid. Talking about Cornet. Oh, will he get banned if he bets on Cornet being offside?
That's a guaranteed money, isn't
it? Yeah. But no, that was a much needed 3 points today, though. Listen, if anyone else does want to phone in, please call in now. Otherwise, we will end the show in about 5 minutes or so.
If this was the Three Musketeers, I reckon you're never off the lines, aren't you? You have to sort of cut people off. Now that I'm on there, just me and you, I think people are going.
Mate, it's not that. People like to moan, and there isn't too much to moan about today. Here we go, Alex. Here we go. There isn't too much to moan about today. I like to moan.
I don't like to moan. I feel like I have to at some point just to vent out the frustrations.
Yeah, Danny, you know what the number is. You got me number. Alex Bailey.
Hello, mate. How you doing?
I'm very well. Yourself?
Yeah, can't complain after today.
Have you phoned up to give me a reality check as well?
No.
Oh, good. What would you like to talk? What would you like to talk about, mate? Go on. No, you say you want. Sure, cool.
Well, it's funny you were mentioning about a minute ago about not having sponsors on shirts because I thought we should probably drop that way for snitching on our guy.
Yeah.
Don't need that.
Yeah. I don't know how it comes out.
It is ironic, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a bit weird that sorry, mate. It's a bit weird that those bets were made from Betway accounts as well.
I just think there's Betway plastered all over the stadium, probably plastered all over the training ground. He's probably thinking, I don't know many sites in England for betting. I'll go with the one that's just paying us all this money to wear on the front of our shirts. What better one to use? I reckon it's
Sullivan. Sullivan and Paqueta have got a little sideline.
Yeah, well, exactly. He was found out soon enough.
Was that true about
Danny, I'll call you back.
Car as well?
Sorry, mate.
Was that true about Sullivan's car as well? Was that actually yesterday? There's a picture of his car pulled out at the front of the bookies.
Oh, really? No, I don't know, mate. I don't know. It wouldn't. It wouldn't surprise me. It's probably a Photoshop or something like that. I don't know. There's been all sorts of crap coming out though lately, isn't there? There really has. You know, with Paqueta, some of the conspiracy theories, because nobody knows. You know that, didn't you? You know that. Fair enough. Yeah. They can release. The FA can say, yeah, we're investigating someone. They can't release details about what they're investigating them for and what it's about. They can't reveal that information. So everyone's just putting 2 and 2 together, and a lot of it is because of the yellow card that he got last weekend. The investigations weren't about the match last weekend, you know. And why would he why would he do it then? Why would you jeopardise your move to Man City? Why would you do it? You wouldn't do it. It doesn't make any sense.
No, you're right.
It doesn't make any sense. But sorry, Alex. Anyway.
Yeah, it was odd timing to come out for it, wasn't it?
It was odd timing, mate. It was, or very fortuitous timing. If it was was it a leak from the club? We didn't want to sell him. Could have been Sullivan going, listen, he's being investigated, just so you know. He's being investigated for betting crimes. No? Could have been.
Yeah, I mean, I think similar to what you said in your video the other day as well, I think even if, God forbid, it does end up being true, and like he ends up with, like, fingers crossed, not an awful ban, it could be good for us long term. He might see some sort of loyalty from us that he feels like he wants to reciprocate and sort of not go looking for big moves later down the line.
Well, I think if it hadn't been City, listen, I don't think he's not the sort of bloke that's gonna push desperately for a move anywhere. You don't get the impression with Paqueta that he's unhappy. He seems to really enjoy what he does. And the thing is, I don't think Moyes stifles Paqueta either, because I don't think you can stifle Paqueta. He always looks beautiful in the game anyway. So I don't think Moyes' ball does really harm Paqueta. He always looks good. That's why Pep wanted to sign him, you know, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So no, I think he would stay. You can't criticise the guy. This is why we would have all preferred Rice to have gone to Man City, because do you know something? You can't really knock a player for going to the best manager in the world and the best team. You can't. It's almost justification in your own head. Or at least they've not dumped us because we're shit. They've gone for a good reason. But no, I don't think they will come back in for him now. I think they'll move on to other targets. I don't think they'll take the risk. So I think he's with us, mate. I think he's with us for the next year at least. Now,
and I'd probably do like again, this is on the hopefully unlikely cause that it is found guilty, and then followed up with that the unlikely cause that it's not an amazingly long ban. But I'd sort of take a leaf out of the book of what Simon Jordan said about Ivan Toney, which is if in the club, and God forbid he did get like a few month ban, I'd be saying, like, we're going to do you a favour, we're going to keep paying you a salary. Here's a new contract you're going to sign. It's longer, the release clause is higher, and sort of have a bit of a give and take sort of thing, and say we're doing you a favour, you're going to have to do us a favour, and help make your deal a bit more beneficial to us.
Yeah, because let's face it. I mean, from what we're seeing at the moment already with Paqueta, Luke, would you not agree? He's only going to get better, isn't he? He's an half a good player, isn't he?
I think he's found his feet, isn't he? So, you know, that's the scary thing. You know, obviously I'm a part of the West Ham network, so that's that. You know, that I run their Instagram account mainly, and I put a post out just before the season started saying that, you know, he's got that player-esque ability about him where, you know, you can't get the ball off him. He makes stuff out of nothing. He's got that uniqueness, that magic about him, and that is the scary thing. Is that he can only get better once he, and I think he's already got it anyway. He's learnt now how quick the game is, how tough and how strong the game is, and I think maybe he's slightly held back with the way we play football, but it doesn't really seem to let him affect him. At some point, he will take the game by the horns.
Yeah,
will put it to his advantage, and I think, you know, for us, I think we all sort of went, oh, he's going Man City, so brilliant. You know, here we go. Finally got a good world class player again, and he's going to slip through our fingers after 1 year. And suddenly now we've got him for the foreseeable future while this investigation's going along. And like I said earlier, he's clearly a very headstrong character, because 1 week he's going to Man City, the next week he's been investigated for this, that, and the other.
It's remarkable, really, the way he's kind of just coping with it all, isn't it?
It's almost like, you know, when a player has that arrogance where no matter what, they're still going to keep above. You know, it's a good arrogance in a way. So he's one of the best, especially in the team. Yeah,
absolutely. But I think there's
literally.
Go on, mate. Sorry. Go on.
I was just going to say there's obviously no sort of questioning his character. I think, like you alluded to earlier, and like I said nearer to the time, like the fight against Alkmaar, like, and then to find out, oh, hang on, his family weren't even there. Like he just was, getting stuck in just out of like camaraderie or something. I think his like you said as well earlier, sort of like the Canio-esque in terms of just like that bastard energy about him, which is you need to have at least one person in the team with that, because
he's a very West Ham type player in terms of his whole everything about him. I know he's a world class talent by the looks of him. The more we see of him. But just what he is, I think he is a real West Ham player. Do you know what I mean?
I've never known a player like him. And my favourite all-time player is probably Di Canio, right?
Yeah.
That was the best player at the time I started supporting West Ham. And ever since he obviously retired, he's worked West Ham really well. But I've never known a player like Paqueta who... And the sceptic in me goes, he only wanted to put those tackles in to get a yellow card. That's obviously with the big and stuff to speak. But overall, I've never known a player who loves to get stuck in and then can do like magic with his feet in a next move, nutmeg someone, lift the ball over their head, do a Rabona out of nowhere.
Well, mate, even do you remember against Bournemouth? Even defending, he was taking the piss. Do you remember that one where he was sitting on the floor, sort of juggling the ball with his heel? He even does that with class, doesn't he?
I like that he always he like slows it down intentionally. He'll always bring. I mean, it's just the sort of thing that if Benrahma did it, you'd find it frustrating because he brings the ball to a stop and you go, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
But it's because he wants the player to stick their leg out because he's going to wrap it around and put it through their legs or do something. He always slows it down so he gets the opportunity to embarrass someone and get a lot.
He
invites, up on their feet
he begs people to come and try and take the ball off of him. That's what he does.
Yeah, it's like watching like a 15-year-old play against like 10-year-olds at five-a-side.
Yeah. No, he's brilliant. But in terms of the actual game today, what were your thoughts on that? Sort of watching that. Did you go to the game or did you watch it on the box?
No, I fucking said no because I had a bad feeling it was going to be miserable. Train journey and in a miserable game, and then I was sat here. And to be fair, I think I was pulling my hair out anyway, so I probably would have been worse in the stadium.
I don't think it. I'll be honest with you. Today in the stadium, for me, I know somebody else said it was toxic. It weren't particularly where I was, but in that cavernous place, you don't know because you don't know what's happening over the other side. So maybe there was areas where it was. But for me, I don't know. I think I would have been more frustrated watching that on telly today. But being in the stadium, you kind of. I'd had a few beers as well. I sort of numb the senses a little bit. And there was enough drama. There was enough drama in that. What I will say is I'm going to hold my hands up. I dived out on 40 minutes to go and get a beer, and I missed the incident for the the save, the Soucek foul and the Areola save before half time. So I had to catch out on the fucking replay. I didn't see it in the stadium. I was drinking a pint at the time, and I had a roar. I thought, well, what happened there? I thought that wasn't a big enough roar for a goal.
Yeah.
But no, it was it was good. That the relief at the end, when Paqueta scores that goal and he tucks that in, that made the pain worth it. It was good. But going back to what we were saying earlier on, mate, it is like a relief feeling when we win at the moment. That's what it is. It's a strange thing.
I don't know if anyone remembers, but throw it back to about 2018, wherever it was, right?
Yeah.
There's a game against Swansea at home, and it was probably one of the most dire games I've ever watched from both teams, right? And I think it was Bilic, I think, was manager at the time, and he brought on Sacco, and it was like the last 10 minutes. And right at the end, Masuaku crossed it in, Sacco finished it off, and Zabaleta was celebrating like we just won the title.
Yeah.
But it was a win, but it almost felt like a loss because the game was so poor, and it was worse than it was like today. I don't know, there was something about it. It was like a soul sucker. You have to remember the game at the time, but the atmosphere in the stadium.
I do remember it.
Was like, this is like, it wasn't even toxic. It was just, this is shit.
Yeah,
this is awful. And then we got the win. It was like, we got the win, but walking out the stadium, there wasn't any like, we won the game. Yes, it was like, we won, but what the fuck was that?
I know. But I suppose but this is different because this is a game where we didn't expect to win this. So you're coming out of this thinking, fuck me.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah. So it's like
I
3-1. You're like,
2-1 as well. I was like, fuck, we beating Chelsea 2-1 at home, and it's like, wow,
yeah.
never get used to beating things like that.
But sort of last point, Alex, I'm going to ask you, how do you think, because I believe that Brighton are a better team than Chelsea. I think they're more, I don't think Potter's really got into his players yet, so I don't think they're quite, well, I hope they're not the finished article, otherwise they've just wasted a fuckload of money. So you've got to hope that they're going to improve. Yeah, you've got to hope that they'll improve. Well, not hope, because it's Chelsea, we don't care. But I think Brighton are a bizarre football team. I mean, the amount of players that come out of Brighton as well, and they don't really go on to look amazing when they've moved, because I think Brighton are a team, like I said it before, they're more than some of their parts. They're players, yeah, but their players look amazing in this system. But do you know what I mean? It's like I think that we're less than the sum of our parts, if that makes sense. When we play football, I think we could play better.
That.
Yeah,
you know,
the opposite.
Yeah. But how do you think we're going to do against Brighton, Alex?
Despite being completely proven wrong today, I'm going to go with the same mindset, which is I'll be probably behind the sofa watching it.
Best way.
Certainly won't be going.
It's the best way. You can't build your hopes up, can you? You can't allow your hopes to get built up, really. You know.
No. I mean, that's the same thing. I actually found out I was offered a ticket as well for Brighton away last season. I made the same call because I was like, oh, well, they beat us at home. And even though Potter's not there anymore, when Potter was there, he used to always like dismantle us. I was like, I just had a bad feeling about it. And then obviously we know what the result was last season when we went away.
Yeah.
So I got that one right. And yeah, I guess like you said, like Chelsea are just like finding their feet, despite the fact they had too big a collection of players and they sort of were looking to get rid of them. They seem to be looking to make the collection too big again. So I think that's probably part of Potter's problem. Whereas obviously Brighton, because like the way their run is so good,
yeah,
I think regardless of whoever they have in their team, they're just, the system is going to absolutely pull us apart as it has done like the last 6 times we've played them.
Well, mate, I went away there. I went away there. That was the last away game that I went to was Brighton last year. It was one of the most horrific. No, it weren't the last one. I went to Palace after that. But it was one of the most fucking horrific experiences. The Palace one weren't much better, even though we scored 2 shit-ass goals that we didn't deserve. But that Brighton one,
yeah,
I don't think I've seen a more pathetic performance than that. It was honestly, I was in full voice on the sidelines there. You know, I was. That was when Moyes got a load of shit in that game. He got a load of shit on that.
I'd rather go City away. Honestly feel I'd rather go City away than Brighton.
Cheers, Keith.
I think they just are like the epitome of bogey team for us.
Yeah, no, I think they are. I think you're right. So we've got Keith Knight, who's our resident referee. He does a bit of reffing. He says he agrees with you, Luke. He says, how was Gallagher not sent off for violent conduct? Law 12, what's that? Section 7. Section 7. Poor refereeing yet again in favour of the big clubs. We only needed 10 men, though. Yes, we did, Keith. Thank you very much for the tenner. Thank you very much, mate. But no, I do think he should have been, no. Do you not think with that one, Alex?
Which one was that?
Luke? The violent conduct with Gallagher.
There was a part in the second half.
What did he do?
Getting towards the last 15 minutes or so, where the ball came out past Emerson, went through to Gallagher and Paqueta, and basically Gallagher didn't really do much. He just all stood up, and Paqueta chucked himself to the ground. He dived, basically. He made a meal of it, and then went down holding himself.
Oh, yeah.
And Gallagher pushed him. And it was basically like a pick yourself up, stop being such a pussy, let's say. To trying to get him, well, whatever he was trying to do, and
it was gamesmanship from Paqueta. He was fucking around, wasn't he?
He should have been.
If
yellow card should have been the yellow card at least.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know about that. I think if we'd had a player booked or sent off for that, we'd have been absolutely screaming the place down.
Yeah.
The reason why I say it should have been is because they're giving yellow cards for anything nowadays, and there was a few yellow cards today given out for the players mouthing off the ref.
There was a lot, yeah.
They're supposed to be they're supposed to be stopping it. So if they're not going to be consistent, then don't do it at all.
This is what I'm saying. And if VAR are going to be there and not get involved for something like that, I'm sorry, but if you can call the ref whatever you want to call him, and then you can push a player to the ground out of frustration, I think it's They both count for the same
So
thing.
I'll tell you what, the way they're interpreting the handball rule now as well, not in our games, but in the other games that have been this weekend. I swear, if your hands are into your body, I reckon you could actually catch the ball.
Yeah, I reckon.
Yeah.
You could catch it.
Last
And they wouldn't give
You
a
bounce
penalty.
it around a few
You
times.
bounce it around a few times like that.
Last week,
I don't think they give a penalty for it.
Chelsea game last week against Liverpool. The defender went like that.
Fuck me. A handball's a fucking handball. If you put your hand out, if honestly, if you save the ball, even if you don't mean it, if you save it with your hand and you stop it from going in, that's a penalty. It's a fucking penalty, surely.
And on top of that, aren't they making it a rule you can't have like more than one player approach the ref when
Yes,
you don't like what they've done? So
The thing
they're going to make outrageous decisions on like handballs or goalkeepers punching people in the head, and say if two people come up and tell me I've done it wrong, you're going to get booked as well.
Yeah, I'll just make my mouth again.
These rules should have come in years ago, because I think, for me personally, I think the players have taken the piss for far too long. Like, referees aren't hard enough. Referees aren't sturdy enough.
But again, they won't be consistent with it, Luke. They won't be consistent with it. So you're going to have games where, for instance, Man United versus, I don't know, fucking Bournemouth, and you're going to have Man United players surrounding the referee doing what they normally do. Nothing will happen in that sort of game. And then I don't know, you know, one of their players will pipe up Bournemouth, bang. I mean, Gary O'Neill getting booked for that Wolves one. Get him. Who wouldn't be pissed off in that instance? That was a stone wall. You will never see more of a penalty than that. It took out two players, that keeper.
Yeah, 100%.
I tell you who's worse than players for getting in the refs' faces and being over the top is people like Arteta and Klopp as well, and they won't get any sort of punishment.
No, not at all. They won't. But
He's allowed to, because Arsenal flavour the month at the minute. That's what he is.
Yeah, I really want to see Arteta get a red card. I hate him, that fucking Ken
I want to see him
Dolan
get fucking two-footed.
Yeah, I can't stand him. He's plastic. He looks plastic. But anyway, Alex, thank you very much for the call, mate. And thank you very much for calling in. I've got a couple of calls I'm going to call. I've got Black Country and Danny Martinez. I'm going to call you both back now. Cheers, Alex.
Good one, lads.
Thanks, mate.
Right.
Bye.
See ya. Bye.
Right. Black Country, you was first, so I'll call you back first. Danny's in America, so he'll be awake. He'll be fine. Right. Is he up?
Right.
Yeah.
Black Country.
Hi, Nick. I'm up. How you doing, son?
You're up. Have I got you out of bed?
No. No.
No.
You're all right.
I'm all right, mate. Long time. How did you enjoy the game today, mate?
First half was a bit shit, wasn't it? But second half,
it was shit. Yeah.
Bit improvement. You know what I mean? I mean, the score, well, and the result, and the points. Who can complain? You know.
Well, you can't. When you come away with a 3-1 win against a team like Chelsea, I suppose everything else, it is a result that matters in that instance. In this game, I think, in a game like this, it is a result that matters, isn't it? Because I don't think any of us, was you expecting us to win this?
No, I'll put down to the best was 2-2, to be honest with you. A draw, if it was lucky.
Lewis,
you know what I mean?
Sorry, mate. Lewis just says, careful, Nick. Nobody wakes up Tommy Shelby without consequences.
Right, my question to you two guys, right?
Go on, mate.
We're going about a new striker. Who's the striker you're going to get in? Who can do the role of Antonio? That's my question.
Who's a striker? I'd go.
Who the striker we could get in? That's my. Who could do that role?
Jonathan David.
That's my.
Wow, that was like telepathic, Nick.
Jonathan David could do it, and I think we could get him because he didn't get his big move that he wanted. And I think he's available. So he would be fucking mustard, mate. He's very, very good. The other one is the one that we're getting, and that is Kudus, whatever his name is. He can play, mate. He started out as a central defensive mid. Well, I don't know where he started, but he's played in central defensive midfield very well, very competently. Plays in the 8, plays in the 10, plays on the wing, and he's played shit tons up front. He's basically a big, fast, tricky he doesn't stop. He's got a lot of talent, and I think he could do it. I think Kudus could do it as well. I do.
Really, he could hold the ball up like Antonio, like that lone striker.
I don't think that he could do everything that Antonio does, because Antonio's a very unique character. He is. So finding somebody that could replicate everything that Antonio does, then probably not. I think you would be able to find someone that could hold. I think he could, yeah, because he's a big, strong lad. But Antonio's different, though. Whether he could just play that role on his own, isolated, and be. I mean, you're talking about a guy in Antonio who can make a shit ball good. You know, you can just punt a ball up to him. He'll run, batter the defender, nod it on, and go and chase his own fucking flick on. It's kind of what he does.
He's the same sort of player that can make a good ball shit.
He is, yes, he is, yeah. He's got that talent as well.
Yeah.
But no.
But my question is that if you want to replace Antonio, who could replace Antonio like for like?
No, I don't think there is one.
For me, it would have to be someone like Mabar.
What I'm on about now with the Moyes system as it stands.
Well, the obvious one, if you're going like for like, was the free transfer that was available in the summer, and that was Traore. That's the obvious one. Hang on, he's gone. He don't like Traore. I'm going to have a shower before bed tonight. I'm all sticky. Didn't need to know that, did you?
All back.
Hi, Nick, you back?
I'm back. You don't like Traore, do you?
You're
I
back.
can tell.
Yeah. You're back on space, yeah.
So the one I was saying was the one that he was available on the free, and if you're going for a like for like replacement, then probably Traore.
I've just read a comment just to butt in a little bit here, right? And I totally agree. And I was trying to think of this name. For me, it would either be another championship player who's hungry, wants it, up and coming, you name it, like Bowen was at the time. But Buemo from Brentford, I'm not saying he would come, right? But if you're going to shell out a good 50 million or whatever, we would be pretty willing to bring a certain player in for the longevity. I think Buemo is so underrated for Brentford. It's ridiculous. And I think he'd be not powerful as Antonio.
I think Trodge makes a perfect point. Ivan Toney would be ideal.
Yeah.
Might as well collect all the gamblers.
Yeah.
No, but I like Ivan Toney. Yeah. I'd take him. You know, I would do.
Take him all day.
Yeah.
The only problem is you've got that big ban, isn't it?
Well, he's back in January. So
yeah.
Just go and grab him. He'd be fine. Thing is with him. I mean, how could he get a year's ban for that? I know they're not allowed to bet on football, but he weren't even betting on his own team. He was he basically like me and you betting. He was doing accumulators.
Yeah. Apparently he's on that bet 5 or what they call it. Yeah. So there's no secret about it, was there?
No, it's a bit harsh. I mean, that's why he's doing it.
He knows the rules. He's broke the rules, hasn't he? So basically that's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I suppose so. But I mean, he obviously can't have really known the rules, because otherwise he wouldn't have been doing it from his own account, would he? He wouldn't have been that stupid.
I think. I know football's a stupid, but I think they still.
Yeah, maybe. It is a bit silly. But and Bremo is good, though. I think he's coming into his own without being in Ivan Toney's shadow. I think he seems to be taking the role of the main man really, really well. He's kind of because who's the other geezer they've got in here who's coming? Is it Wisser? He's decent as well. They're a good team. Brentford are a good team. You know, Brentford and Brighton are going to be up there again.
Brentford and Brighton are run.
Yeah.
I don't know if people know this, but when Brighton and Brentford owners know each other, they're very, very close. They're very similarly run because they both work on the same thing. There's an article in the Athletic about it.
Yeah.
They're both stat based, and they both had basically. I don't know how long ago it was now, but they both had a falling out and haven't spoken to each other since. And basically, after that falling out, one went to Brighton, one went to Brentford. So I don't know if they both.
Oh, is that what happened?
That's what happened. They were both basically looking. They were both gamblers. That was how they started. Both gamblers. They both basically went on data. So they both. So if you, I don't know if you want to, you know.
So they were a partnership that broke up, split, went their separate ways, and they're both implementing the same model at different clubs.
Basically, yeah, pretty much.
Fuck me, didn't realise that.
They don't talk. They hate each other. No. Like that. So.
No, didn't know that.
No, didn't know that at all.
No, but
Then
Well, so in terms of the overalls, like, what did you think of my rating of Moyes today? Do you think I was harsh? Do you think I was harsh, or do you think that, you know, in terms of the football that we played today, do you think that Moyes deserves credit for a masterclass, or do you think that this is just one of those instances where the tactics that he plays, it just pays off?
I don't think it was a masterclass. I looked at the first half and it was just everybody be on the ball again, 1-0 up. Then Chelsea, you can expect it with Chelsea, you know what I mean? That they're going to come and attack you and all that.
Yeah.
But when you're playing at home, I don't like 9 or 10 men behind the ball. Like any fan, any West Ham fan who, and that's home, I don't like the way his tactics are.
No.
But they're in transition, Chelsea, that is, I suppose. And I thought the best part about the second half was, okay, a goal got sent off and all that, and it was a silly challenge, absolutely crazy challenge. And then I thought when 4-0's come on, I thought he settled the side, you know?
Yeah.
And then Antonio without that, you know, he got 2 or 3 of their guys around him, and he cracked that goal in. And I'm thinking, because Antonio up till then was not in the game because it was all behind the ball.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, and then when 4-0's come on, I thought it kind of changed the game in a way. And
when it weird, did you feel like that? Did you feel like we went down to 10 men, brought 4-0s on, and became more of an attacking threat?
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
it's bizarre, isn't it? Yeah. It's bizarre, and that's the difference that the man can make. And this is the thing people do overlook: the type of player he is. He is the epitome of a progressive player. He's literally he presses, he wins the ball, he's on the front foot, he goes, he plays quick passing, and he passes and he moves as well. He don't just stand there. The guy is perpetual motion, and you notice it more when you go to the games with 4-0s, and that's why everyone that goes home and away and stuff like that, they all adore 4-0s because that guy does not stop running ever. He's a wonderful, wonderful lad. And do you know something? If he does end up being pushed out of the team permanently, which it looks like he could do here, I think we're going to lose him, and I think that would be so tragic.
I think it's disgusting if he goes that way because
I think it'd be tragic. He loves the club as well.
For a little snooky of a guy, he's attacker minded.
Yeah.
And all he wants to do is go forward on the front foot and just attack.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As for the club and as for the team.
He's an epitome of what people joke about when a player from overseas sign, because there's always that joke in it. Oh, he didn't come over West Ham. He didn't come over because he likes pie and mash and jelly deals. But he actually does like pie and mash and jelly deals, or pie and mash, isn't it? And I think there's a rumor going around now that he wants to move back to La Liga. I don't believe it personally, but there's a rumor going around that he does want to go back home. But he's realistically he's my favourite player. Apart from Flynn Downs, he's my favourite player because he's to adopt the club like he has, the way he has, and he's not even playing that regularly. He's not been a regular player in the team for about the last year and whatever. I think he's fair play to him. He's the epitome of that.
Keith, I feel like I owe you a tenner now. I didn't realise you was a high-level ref. I didn't realise. So you're no longer Keith Knight. You are now Peter Wanks. All right. So can you change your name now for me so I know you are? But no, that's really good, mate. We'll have to get you. We'll have to get you on. We'll have to get you on to do a feature. We could. Who is it they refer to? Is it like when you're watching on Sky, they refer to a referee now, don't they?
Yeah, a referee in
not Stockley Park. Do you know when they get an opinion on something?
I know you're talking about,
that could be Keith Knight. We could get him on the line. Say, Keith, what do you reckon of that, mate?
Got a job there, mate.
That's it. Yeah. No, that's good though, mate. I didn't realise that. Yeah. That's good. I didn't realise.
Keith Knight only lives up the road from me. Nick, Keith Knight only lives up the road from me.
Oh, does he really?
Half an hour away, mate. Yeah. He lives in a place called Bromsgrove, and I live in a place called Worcester. It's 10 miles away.
Has he ever given you a red card?
Not yet, because I ain't met him.
Not yet. Oh, right.
I will do.
Okay.
I will do.
I bet he was card happy. I bet he was card happy, wasn't he?
Where's the hamster, kid? Where's the hamster?
The hamster, he's in Crete. He's in Crete, sunning himself.
Eating nuts.
He's eating nuts. He's eating some Greek nuts
Yeah.
at the moment. Yeah.
Big good.
but anyway, Black Country's been lovely talking to you, mate. I'm going to give Danny Martinez a call, and then we're going to close up.
Okay, so
top man. Thanks for calling in, mate. I appreciate that. Cheers.
No problem, mate. See you later. Bye-bye.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh, good call. Top man he is. He sounded tired. I reckon I just got him out of bed. He definitely said I'm up now, didn't he?
No, he did. Yeah. We're taking the same thing. So,
Daddy boy, how you doing, mate? You all right?
On top of the world, dude.
Danny Martinez.
Right
Danny,
now.
you're a bit amateur. Turn me down on your telly. I can hear myself. I'm annoying.
I just turned you back down.
Okay,
I had you on to know when you were going to call.
Mate, what did you think of the game today? What did you think of the game? Do you enjoy it, or was you watching from behind your sofa?
Oh, no. I'm always watching these games kind of head on, assuming we're going to win every time, because as I've said before, and I'm very open about, I'm very delusional.
Yeah.
When it comes to my expectations, I don't care who we play. I'm always expecting a win, damn it. But I will say that first half went about how I expected the second half to go. I expected the whole game to be stagnant, your textbook Moyes ball.
Yeah.
Very, very happy with the way we sort of made some great chances out of nothing and ended up getting that kind of a result down to 10 men.
I think it was one of those games, Dan, where I think if you look at it like that, say I don't know exactly what the stats were. I know at halftime we had 19% possession, but if you can look at a game like that on reflection, if you think you can have 19% or 20% possession, but when you've got the ball, you create chances. You do something with it. It did feel like we did that today. At least it felt like we didn't have the ball very often, but when we did have the ball, we did something.
I agree. That was different about it. Not at all like I don't know why we couldn't give, Bournemouth that kind of play like we did Chelsea the last 45 minutes of that game today.
No, I've got no idea.
No reason.
I mean, that's the annoying thing. I do think when you look at that today, we definitely threw 2 points away against Bournemouth. I think we did in that one.
I can't disagree with that. That almost felt like a loss, especially conceding late Bournemouth. But I don't want to talk about Bournemouth since that's
it's been and gone. It's been and gone. Look forward.
Yeah, I'm enjoying the goosebumps, the happy thoughts and happy feelings. I'm going to be in good mood all fucking week.
Yeah, mate, and that's the thing. That's the thing. When this happens, because I know quite a few Chelsea supporters as well, so I'm particularly looking forward to getting stuck into a few on WhatsApp tomorrow. It's going to be quite nice. Because when you look at it, mate, I mean, listen, you can't take it away from them. We're incredibly hard to play through when we play the way that we play today. You've got to have some serious craft to cut us open. But nonetheless, you're talking. This is a team that has spent £1 billion on players. £1 billion on players. I just think that it didn't look like it, did it? I mean, like you had Cascedo playing in the middle there. Now we know he's a good player, but did he look like £130 million to you?
Not right off the bat, and having seen him play a lot, obviously, like watching
Brighton,
South American football. Yeah. I've seen him play quite a bit for Ecuador.
Yeah.
Do I believe he's worth that amount? No, but I think number 41, our departed 41, blew up the market for central mid. But that's another thing. He didn't look like £130 million player, during his time on the pitch, but it'll take him time to integrate, I think, into that squad. And once he does, he'll probably come good. I think if this had been a game where we played Chelsea, whether it be at home, like if it was later in the season, maybe they've got a chance to get some chemistry.
Yeah.
That result might have been different. But I'm just so ecstatic that we were able to come away with 3 points and to have a victory that decisive when we can score the point. Because I mean, who in the fuck thought we're going to take 3 points from Chelsea?
No one thought that. Like I said before the game, my heart said 2-1, but my head said 4-0. I thought we was going to get battered. But how did you feel for Paqueta? tucking that penalty away, mate.
He needed that, and you know what? As soon as he lined it up, I knew he was going to slot it in. He's got such a nerve-wracking, nail-biting fucking approach to striking that ball.
Yeah,
like, and I get that it's by design. It's going to make it difficult to stop, but that made me more nervous than anything. Even though I knew he was going to put it away. I
think he's just got it down to a T. I think what the guy does, because if you watch him when he runs up, he's looking at the keeper the whole time. He's looking at. He ain't even looking at the ball. He's looking at the keeper. So I think he makes his decision. I think he makes his decision on the spot. Wouldn't you say, Luke? When he does that,
because you don't want to have it on your face. That
no, Luke. Would you?
He sucks him out. It's the run up. It's the way he strikes the ball. It's the no looks and all that sort of stuff. He does to the keeper what he does to all the other players on the field. So
he's a piss taker, isn't he?
For him, it's like the perfect opportunity to just be a shit house. And my worry with him was with the run up, because to me at one point it looked like he stopped. You know, they class that as either having to
you can't stop, can you? Yeah,
retake the thing, but he's got that confident exuding from his body. The funny thing was, I thought it was going to be Bowen to take the penalty, because I thought he's going to be the new penalty guy. But I don't really think we know who's going to take him now, so it just tends to be whoever really wants it. And I think Paqueta took one last season against Leeds, didn't he? And then since then he's not taken one. So I was a bit unconfident until I saw him sort of step up for it. So I thought to myself, well, he just looks.
I just think the guy is just so full of self-belief, and do you know what I love about him most is what we've all said, is what we've all seen in him today. He is a massive piss taker. He loves mugging off the opposition. He just fucking loves it, doesn't he? Does he when you watch international football, Dan, with Paqueta, does he get in a few little because we know the old South American games get a bit feisty.
Yes, he is absolutely a scrapper. Very much, and like I'm not comparing them in terms of playing style, because Paqueta is in terms of ability. And technicality is twice the player that Lanzini is. I'll be honest, but very much a good replacement in terms of attitude. Maybe an approach to the game, not afraid to be a shithouser, and definitely a scrappy player. Think of the what was it, 2 seasons ago? Mentioning Lanzini, the penalty he took against them, where he gave Reece James some stick after he'd been hearing it in his in the lead up to him kicking. You know. I think he's filled that role nicely in terms of a pissed off or a chippy Latin American player. We needed more of those.
Hang on, Danny. Whoa. Listen, Razor. We're talking to a Colombian American here, right? He knows how to say Paqueta. He says it's Paqueta, please, not Paqueta. Danny, tell us how to pronounce the name. Paqueta. There you go, Razor. See.
Do you know?
So, like the song where you sold your car to Lucas Paqueta. Yeah. At least you're finally like forced to pronounce it correctly.
Right.
Okay. Look. It's not my fault, man. I didn't name the island. It's not even his real name. He took he has a different surname. He took the name of the island where he's from.
Oh, right. Okay. So I didn't even know that. That's literally that's an island.
It's an island, I believe, within Rio de Janeiro, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't know that. I didn't know that at all.
What?
Yeah, look it up. It looks beautiful until you look at it up close. It doesn't look like the same.
It's Paqueta a chosen name, not a family name.
No, that is a chosen name. Luc Paqueta is not his birth name.
But don't a lot of Brazilians do that, because they've got like 15 names, haven't they?
They do,
They got.
That's correct.
Because apparently, when he first signed, they said to him, "We've heard your name is Paqueta. Can you confirm it?" And he said, "If you want to call me Paqueta," I think he said it was like, "Oh yeah, my name's Paqueta." But I think it was like to try and make it easier for everyone to just say. Because he was like, "We don't want to say Paqueta," even though now everyone says it kind of that way anyway.
It's almost like having a stage name for the Brazilians when they're coming over to the European and worldwide market, isn't it? You know, because I suppose
that's exactly it.
Yeah,
that's exactly right.
Yeah,
I don't know why more British players don't do that.
I think
the most we go through is they put their first names on the back of their shirts rather than the family name.
I think that's like, but that's for personal reasons. You know, is it billing? Billing for Bournemouth.
He's
removed it as of this season. But there's usually a reason for that. So I think that must mean there's a personal reason behind it.
I think Ravel Morrison removed
the same reason Virgil van Dijk has Virgil on the back of this shirt.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, name or something like that. Yeah.
Yes.
There you go.
And old John Osborne from Claret and Booze has Virgil of the Marshes on the back of his shirt. Which he doesn't.
I've heard.
How are you doing, Dan, anyway? Are you okay? It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. I've been doing well. Just really been enjoying the summer. We've been traveling quite a bit. We're going to travel some more in about 2 weeks. And
Danny, can I ask?
Can I want to be more active on the show.
Go on, Luke. Go on.
What's it like having a summer? We haven't had one.
Oh, I know. It was nice today. I'll tell you. Do you know something? Sorry to interrupt. Right, talking of the sun today. I was sitting in the Billy Bond stand. It drove me fucking mad. It was in my. I was so glad because what they did was they put these. It was in my face for 90 minutes. It was pissing me off. It was cooking. Nice. It was cooking me. So what they did was before the game, they put stupid bits of card on your seat that you had to hold up when they walk out. I just turned that into a sun hat. I literally use that for the whole game. It was honestly, mate. It was too hot. I'm not made for the sun.
Take a hat next time.
I'm gonna.
David
Moyes.
Masterclass.
You got to make sure and not leave your eyeglasses on. Then you'll look like a raccoon.
Exactly. I know. But
but having a summer is wonderful. It's actually 40 degrees here right now.
Yeah, but your summers are different. You're geared up for the summers. You've probably got swimming pools and shit, so that you can go and jump in the pool and stuff like that. So do you know what I mean? Whereas
there's a lake about 5 minutes from where I'm at, so I'm very, very lucky. Like I don't take that for granted.
You just go and lob yourself in a lake with on a lilo.
Yes, absolutely. It's great having a summer. It was funny being in the UK last year, and a tour guide had told us when we were in Stirling Castle that I love summer. It's my favorite day of the year, and that's said a lot about.
That's about right. That's about right, though. And the thing is, what always happens in this country, sorry to fucking moan, is because you have the kids' summer holidays. You know, you have beautiful weather coming up to the point where the kids are off school, and then it rains for 3 fucking weeks, so you end up stuck with them indoors. It's so cruel. It happens every year. The minute the school holidays hit, it starts pissing down with rain, and you end up with these stir crazy kids in your house saying, "Dad, I'm bored." So you end up having to spend a fortune on fucking indoor activities where you don't want to be. But anyway, yeah.
Oh yeah, because you guys don't have it over there.
No. But Dan, when are you coming back over anyway?
We're looking at coming this season, so ideally like end of April, kind of around the same time that we visited last year.
Are we meeting up? We having a meet up?
Well, yeah, that's the whole point.
Good. We'll have to bring Luc along on this one. Last one was a bit messy.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
You turned up pissed. I remember that. You turned up. Your first drink. It was like drinking. It was like drinking a glass of razor blades, wasn't it? Because you'd been on the piss the night before. I remember.
Yes.
Hey Nick, how you doing?
Yeah, it was really bad. Yeah, it was a great night that was. But yeah, we'll get Mike out. We won't be able to keep Mike away. He's your.
Oh no, I'm like, we got to get everybody together, and ideally, we're going to try and plan it around football. So
yeah,
I think Luton at home might be one that we could be there for.
Guaranteed win as well, because they're shit. So that'd be a good one to go to.
Yeah, hopefully our stadium ban passed since the first 2 games we lost 1.
Yeah, what was it? What was the results? The ones that you went to?
So the Europa League semifinal first leg, we lost 2-1.
Yeah,
and then that same week, we went to Arsenal at home and lost 2-1.
Okay, well, don't go to any matches, Dan, when you come over then, please. Just
yeah, I think it's best we just stay away and maybe watch it at somebody or something.
Luton at home is now not guaranteed.
I care too much about the club. I would sacrifice myself to as long as they win.
But no, that's good. So anyway, Dan, to close the call, because I'm going to close this down now. I'm tired. I've got to get myself to bed. What would you?
Absolutely.
What do you think is going to happen next weekend against Brighton, our nemesis? You know what nemesis means.
Look, man, I know I said at the top of this call that I never pick West Ham to lose, but I think we're gonna fucking lose that.
That one.
They always like it sucks, man. It's one of those like that somebody had, I think it was Black Country that had mentioned they really are the epitome of a bogey team, but it's not even a bogey. It's not a bogey club. Because we don't beat them. They just always destroy us.
Yeah, mate.
So I don't know. Maybe something will change. Maybe Moyes will have just a
I think a bogey team is someone that you just can't beat, even when you outplay. We don't ever outplay Brighton. We don't ever do it.
No, we don't.
And that, like I say, the last one that I went to, I'm not going to go Brighton away again. I'm not, even though it's a lovely place to go to.
They played us off the fucking hard.
Fuck me. I'm never doing that. That was the most angry I've been after a match for a long. And I'll get angry a lot. I don't know whether you know, but I was very angry after that.
So angry was.
It's part of your charm. Don't ever change.
But yeah, it was that was definitely that was horrendous. So, but listen, it has to stop at some point. Nothing lasts forever. They can't keep beating us.
The bill is fucking due, Nick. Let's go.
They can't keep beating us. It's not. It can't happen. Records away
with this.
Records are made to be fucking broken. All right, they are. So we've got. That's going to be amazing.
I'm with you on that.
That's going to be bigger than winning the cup final when we eventually beat Brighton.
Actually, will.
That would be our cup final.
I think that's going to require an open bus parade. I think when we eventually beat Brighton, I think. Full on town hall.
We'll beat them, and then they'll beat us in the reverse league.
They will.
They'll offer photos with a banner during stadium tours. So we beat Brighton.
They will. But anyway, Danny, thank you very much for calling, mate. That was much appreciated. Much appreciated. I'm going to get you on. We're going to get you on the show soon. When timing.
Yes, sir.
Allowances, because obviously we're all out of bonk, aren't we, with your timings and ours. So.
I mean, I could go to bed right now. I wish it was the same time here that it is over there.
Oh, so you're a bit tired. Good. You're a bit tired, are you?
It's everybody that doesn't want to catch up.
Yeah. Okay, mate. All right. Well, top man, Dan, thanks for calling, mate.
Have a good one, guys. Take care.
Cheers, mate. Thank you. Right. Okay. Well, look, that was it. Thank you, everybody in the chat for tonight. It's been really, really good. I am sorry I've not been able to I've tried my best to flick all the comments up and do it, but I think I put quite a few up. And thank you. And there's been some great comments in there as well. And Luke, thank you very much for joining me, mate.
Thank you for having me on. I'm obviously
you're a top man, as always.
I'm a West Ham Network guy. I didn't plug them last time I was on here. I think the other time before. So if you are on YouTube regularly, go watch West Ham Network as well. They're a great channel out there as well.
They are indeed. I'm
not there as much because of my family's situation has changed. But thank you for having me on tonight, Nick. It's been
he's not there often because Russ Budden's better looking, so they keep him off the screen now.
Amongst other things as well. But thanks for having me on tonight. My battery's going to die as well as we speak. So just as well we're closing this down. But thanks for having me tonight. It's been lovely. We enjoyed a win, and you haven't moaned, which it really is. You happy? It's weird. It doesn't seem right. As much as it's quite a nice change.
I moaned a bit, but I weren't moaning. It
wasn't a classic Nick. I'm too used to Nick. I might not like it, but I don't think I'm going to get it.
I don't think people like me when I'm happy. I don't
like it. I love you, Nick. So
I know.
That's just poor boy.
I know. Right. Anyway, listen. We beat Chelsea 3-1. Thank you, everyone in the chat. Like I say, before you go, drop a like on the video, and we will see you next week with some rambles. And as Luke says, if you're not a member of the West Ham Network, which you must be, I'm assuming you are, jump over there and give them a like. Thank you very much. We're off. Are we still massive? Are we massive?
Always.
Wicked. Jungle is massive. Wicked. West Ham are massive. Wicked. Jungle is massive.